wrapped
I was
around the moon.
doing the way I figured it out was the transit of Venus.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch of ways to figure it out.
Yeah, my way was the
Once you
transit.
accept the fact you're not the center of the universe.
Yeah. Oh well, this
Actually,
works.
no, I guess
regardless.
even if you were the center, the sun would still be at the same distance.
Yeah, correct. So that's really irrelevant at that point. I just did the transit of Venus, and there's a bunch of complex math for it. So I just figured, it's gonna work out. I just got to figure out one little aspect of it, and then the rest of it will fall right into place.
Something. Damn it! Why has no one ever brought this up to a geocentrist?
What?
Okay, if the Earth is the center of the solar system, everything would always be at a relatively equal distance from it because it's orbiting. Okay, I say relative because, things are sometimes elliptical. But if the Earth is not the center, it would always maintain a set distances from the Sun, but the other planets would always change distances from the Earth.
Yep.
Depending on where you were in both orbits.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One of the things geocentrism can't understand or figure out. No math.
Well, no one's ever brought that up that I can think of.
Cool Hard Logic did part 2.
Okay. I just don't know if they've ever brought it up.
Testing geocentrism part 2. Love that part. Favorite part actually, because it brings up Mr. Space Hammerman.
Mr. Space Hammerman?
Yeah, Mr. Space Hammerman.
Who's Space Hammerman?
Yes, Mr. Space Hammerman.
Who is that?
4?
It's basically what they say. Why is is such and such object moving in this direction? No, it isn't Mr. Space Hammerman. Basically, those guys that swing a weight in circles and around, and then they fling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Space Hammerman.
Right. Okay.
The skulls.
The hammer tops. You're doing it in space.
Hey, Drake.
13. Drag is not broadcast.
Oh, yeah, sorry, getting that. I was actually just testing the thing on the side. Sorry about that.
Yeah. And by the way,
I shouldn't have to worry about it. Give me one second.
I have a bone to pick with Dragnut anyway.
What's up?
Well,
all right,
hang on, B. Before you pick on Drag, there's one thing to new.
Missed that, 13.
I said before Red goes and picks on Drag, there's one thing that we need to deal with.
Yes. Golf claps for Drag. That was a good shuffle.
We were going through the archives of Shuffle on my page, all 18 days worth of freaking content. That long talk on racism just went by.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw him tag me in, and I was like, I don't even remember. And then he put the timestamp, and I was like, oh yeah, that one. That was a long time ago. I was so thin back then.
Yep, 6/7/14.
Oh wow, yeah, that was a while back.
Oh yeah, I think it was 14. That might have been it was 14. It was old
14.
Old channel. I think it was 14. Yeah. But yeah, you're going through all the old ones. I'm like, oh wow, this one was a good one. That's right, I forgot about this. I'm half tempted to just take new ones, put them on the playlist, and just let the playlist run it for fucking eternity at this rate. Fucking assholes trying to shut down my channel.
Yeah, it's speaking of which, did you get an email from Ermine?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I'll have to get back with her because she's a tester for Google and she has some pull. So
really?
Just send me in a PM. The email address is associated with the account, and I'll forward it directly to her to make sure, because we were talking about this the other day.
Good. Dave S. got hit as well, if you're unaware. Same porn bombing.
Well,
Yeah.
his is a little bit trickier than mine, technically speaking, because mine was a quarter-inch sized icon, for fuck's sake. I took every reasonable precaution. Granted, I've since deleted the fucking video, but...
I was there. I'm an eyewitness.
But yeah, the account name's easy. There we go. That's all.
They should change the terms of service so that the person doing the bombing You might get your hangout taken down, but you don't get the strike. The bomber does.
Yeah, and that's the problem I have is that I shouldn't have gotten a strike for something that, first off, I kicked him out for immediately. Second off, it was a quarter-inch by quarter-inch icon that showed it for about 3 seconds. And I couldn't figure out what the heck it was inside the hangout, never mind outside.
Because otherwise, if this kind of stuff continues, Google Hangouts become useless because no one will use them because everyone will get banned.
Yeah, because you're
Go
not
after
going to,
people
no
doing
one's going to
this
be
shit.
willing to invite anyone that they don't know.
Yeah.
And that defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not any fun if you can't get to know new people.
But yeah, I got massively screwed by this on my main channel.
Oh, and by the way, I'm going to say thank you to Rose. Nadia added me to a circle.
Oops.
Ooh.
How is that my fault?
Oh, it said Nadia and Rose added you to circle, so I'm just figuring it's your fault.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense, I suppose.
I have no idea how Nadia even found me, so therefore it must be your fault.
I don't know. I circled you at some point.
It will give you,
Rose,
if you're
I
friends
just
with a bunch of
want
people
to
that
know.
she
I
is,
know. That's
it
probably
will,
what it is.
it will recommend you.
Oh, she's in
you
a
are
circle.
terrible person.
Make sure she's invited. I don't know.
You are a terrible person, Rose. Not really. I'm just saying that because I'm an asshole.
But yeah, all those shuffles, when I threw them on the playlist, it was 18 freaking days worth. And I'm like, when I do my read, I'll just pause that and go over and do the read. My computer got so freaking hosed up that XSplit wasn't responding. I ended up having to reboot. XSplit was like, you want me to keep track of how many hangouts? Ah!
Nice. Anyway, Drag. I got bone to pick with you.
What's up?
Okay. 12 hours of driving. 12 hours. I'm driving through South Carolina, and I'm like, wow, and no Dragnot because the fucker had to fly at this day. At this fucking day.
You contacted me like a week late, dude. If you would have let me know like a week ahead of when you contacted me, I could have altered it because what ended up happening is that my wife was like, well, you actually want to just stay until the freaking weekend, so we'll just make it an even weekend because we actually stayed a little bit less than a week. And we were talking about it, and at that point it was too late. So if you would have let me know, dude, I would have altered it and just stayed.
Yeah, the thing is that I understand that's my fault, but I'm still putting the blame on you because I'm an asshole.
I understand. It's okay.
Okay, and you said that you were going to do road trips. To where exactly? Please say Tampa, Florida.
Not road trips. My wife did most of the driving, and I'm like, even then, I really want to just fly. Anywhere I go next, I'm going to fly. Unless it's
I
like,
don't know. I think Canada sounds more interesting than Tampa.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
we have
interesting.
Europe.
Okay,
It would be different enough.
there's not really much here, honestly. If people go to 2 places in Florida, they either go to Orlando or they go to Miami. They don't go to Tampa.
What about
And-
Key West?
Yeah, the only reason you would come to Tampa is, well, actually, there is no reason why you would come to Tampa. I mean, it's really bland and boring over here.
I want to meet Florida,
What
man.
about Tallahassee? Would anybody ever go to Tallahassee?
No.
I've been to Tallahassee.
I actually,
Maybe fucking
well,
capital.
just being bored, poked around, found a really nice-looking property for about $500,000. It had 4 different houses on the property and had 20 acres.
No?
Is there
Right
a
in
possibility I
Talkeetna.
can meet Florida, man? I'd go to Florida.
Oh, in
for that.
Talkeetna?
Right in Talkeetna, yeah.
I've lived in Florida. It sucks.
Mm.
That's really expensive. For
I had a prof when I was in college
one-
who's from Tallahassee, and the most
one of the
exciting
buildings
thing
is an
you can
aircraft hangar.
find there is a sign that says we're leaving Tallahassee.
Maybe I'll move to Canada. No,
Come on,
that's not
Red,
gonna
it's
happen.
not that bad. Metric is not that hard to learn.
Well, it's not bad. I gotta tell you. You know, being on Canada.
Milk in a bag.
Well, here's the thing. I
Oh,
went to
bad.
Canada in a full body hazmat suit just to not get any of the Canada on me, and it was actually pretty nice looking through the double glass visor and my own oxygen supply of American air.
Oh, it was a neat property. I mean, you look out the back balcony and there's this river going right out from there that's just wide enough to actually park a plane in,
Oh,
onto the plane.
possibly Montana.
It has a lovely little hangar right there on the property. It has this lovely little wood cabin with a wood stove to heat the whole thing. It has another building which is a big metal. It looks like it was a former storage building or something like this, but it's been converted over into a second house, as well as the main house, which is like 3,000 square feet. It's kind of nice.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I've looked at that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Come on, Redline, move to Canada.
I like
At
looking
least
at
here,
that.
when you vote for your so-called independent parties, they can actually get a seat in office.
Hey, NDP have quite a poll lead at the moment,
I
which
was
is
referring
interesting.
you to the Green Party.
I don't want to deal with the snow, though. That's the thing. I don't have to shovel.
We have this thing called a snowblower. It's like a little machine you
That
walk behind
requires
and push.
work.
Oh
I
no,
don't-
it's self-powered, dude. You just turn it. It's like a lawnmower.
Ah, the lawn. No.
But you don't
no.
push it; it powers itself.
I have someone pay. I pay
Yeah.
someone to mow my lawn. I don't
you
mow
can
it
pay
myself.
someone to
You can
shovel
pay-
snow.
Everybody with a fucking truck does snow removal.
You can also get a snow machine.
Or you could find a kid on that block and just have them do it. They'll do
I
it.
don't want to deal with the cold, though.
You put like chains on your four-wheeler and a plow on the
Good
front.
You, and that's like a special machine you could ride on snow in the wintertime.
And I don't want to deal with the fucking kilometers. Kilometers? The fuck is that shit?
6.5. It's 6.54 of a mile. So suck
Well,
it up.
no. Hang on. Red has a point. We certainly have a problem listening to the Kalam too damn often. Oh, wait, he didn't say that.
Oh.
Besides, Red, we really don't use kilometers for measuring distance. We measure distance in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's
Yeah.
about a 45-minute drive.
Yeah,
Yep.
Also,
Well,
a
no,
tech-
for
because we all speed like fucking demons anyways. So
and for Jordy, that's a very quickie trip because usually trips in Saskatchewan are like, oh, that's about 2 days journey down the road.
I don't want to learn French.
Paranor, he
Thank you.
was going downhill, so you kind of roll faster.
Yeah, but I
That's
don't want to
Saskatchewan.
learn French.
So he's going towards month. You don't need to learn
That's
French.
French. Just don't get a job in Ottawa. You won't need French.
Yeah, we have like 3 territories and 9 other provinces you can go to where you don't need French.
Yeah. Even Nova Scotia, which was the original French settlement, doesn't need French.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the time I went to South Miami and I basically tried to go to the gas station. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, hablo inglés." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yes, he hablo inglés. Look, he's pale. He's pasty white. Of course he hablo inglés.
Wow, the words pasty white haven't been uttered in a shuffle since.
Oh, that went by the other day too. That was fucking hilarious.
What
All
I'm
right.
wondering is because of it getting screwed up with the storytelling thing, that one might still be in the queue. I don't know.
Okay, heathens. Since we're on the topic of being pasty white, let's just get this out of the way now. Penis!
Isn't that a little purple and red?
Well, we got
Might want to go to the doctor.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
If it's purple and red, it might be, starved of oxygen.
Infection.
You might have an issue at that point. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
you
they'd be
take
starved of
the
oxygen.
rubber band off.
If that chicken a little too hard, the head comes off.
Now, the thing that got me about that part of what got me about the whole thing is, it's not like they really gave me the opportunity to take it offline. I mean, it was insane. I mean, this tiny little quarter-inch thing, and I'm like, that's not big enough that anyone out there could see it. And then I went to ask the audience, I'm like, could anyone even make out what that was? And then all of a sudden my channel's already down. Because
Yeah.
the person that went into the Hangout to do it must have been the one that flagged me. Either that or you had friends at the outside waiting to.
So they come in, porn bomb, flag immediately, which basically, I guess YouTube takes that shit more seriously than other things. And
And they they couldn't have possibly reviewed that damn video.
No.
No, they do it
How long?
as a precaution now because what's happened for the last few weeks is that you've been having guys like around this time of night just make wank videos, and I've seen at least 2 of them, and so they take it down as a precaution. But here's the thing: every time I've seen that, there's always been like little kids on, like 7 or 8 years old from Russia, talking about stupid Russian shit. I don't know,
Yeah.
but so they do that. I want to say to protect the kids.
Well, I mean, that's all fine and dandy that they do that to protect the kids, and I understand that, and I get why they'd want to just err on the side of precaution. But when somebody sits here and says, no, this is bullshit, they should listen to them. Now, the thing is, in my particular instance, I will admit, I didn't take it very seriously. because I threw them out. I'm thinking, you know, I couldn't tell what the fuck was in the Hangout. I doubt anyone watching the stream could have told what the fuck it was, and I was going to go back and review it later to see if it was even noticeable. I'm like, fuck it, I'll check it later. I can also download the damn thing and pull that part out later. No, wasn't given the chance to do any of this shit. Immediately taken offline within like 15 seconds of that going through. And I'm like, what the fuck?
And then when you put in for an appeal, they said, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they even looked at it when after I
No.
put in the appeal. But in the appeal, I'm like, yeah, some little idiot came in and tried to air porn. It was like a quarter-inch little thumbnail, and I kicked them out immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
thinking they'd look at that and go, oh, okay. Not, fuck you, it stands. You can't do Hangouts for 6 months.
Yeah, you know the third episode that we did about the Matt Slick beatdown. Evidently, I criticized him too harshly, so that's what got me flagging. I can't do videos now, or I can't do fucking Hangouts.
Yeah,
Are
so I had
you-
to
wait a
redirect
minute,
everyone to
You
shut.
criticized him too harshly, and
Apparently,
you
yes,
got-
he was bullying.
Are you fucking kidding
Called
me?
him a weenie.
Such butt hurt.
Yep, we were
It's fine. I got my revenge.
Oh, headset's just out of range.
Okay, yeah, I'm coming back in range right now. I got my revenge though. If anyone's caught the Nadia hangout where Matt Slick went in there.
Oh,
And,
I did watch that actually.
Oh yeah.
What twisted world does Matt Slick live in where that is a good idea?
Well, I remarked to him too. I said, Lenny's not here to save you, 'cause,
Yeah.
he was in trouble because I let him go down the rabbit hole, and then I started stopping him at certain points, and I just kind of drag it back slowly. I treat him like I treat the fish that I catch. You know, I let them have a little slack, and then I start reeling them in after they get hooked. It's hilarious. It's like, oh, the Cambrian explosion. He's going over this really elaborate, fucking not elaborate explanation of what it is, and like, okay, cool. So you referenced evolution. So, how does an aquatic animal become an amphibian? You wouldn't happen to know that, would you? Since you just referenced it. No. Do you know what a Lampert chamber is? No. So how do you know about an aquatic animal becoming an amphibian? So just little things like that really throws him off.
Mm-hmm.
And this ultimately is why Sai's little preachy thing says, don't even bother try with the science because you'll always find somebody that knows more.
Yeah. They essentially
Of course,
admit
in the case of Slick and Sai 10 and all these other people, they shouldn't talk about religion either because they might run into somebody that knows more.
Yeah. Oh, I got Ken Jones a few days ago.
Just
'Cause he
pretend that you know all and you don't need to justify it in any way, shape, and or form.
Oh God, they've gotten pretty bold. I'll say that. And I'm taking chemistry the next 2 weeks, but I know enough of rudimentary chemistry to fairly, let's say this, the claim that Adam was created from the dust of the earth. I've debunked that just with basic chemistry, and I'll explain.
Don't go there.
Yeah, it's really funny because
fucking carbon based, not silica based.
it's just a simple argument. Headless Chicken already knows it, and it took me.
No, I know where it's going.
God, it took me 10 hours to explain this to Ken Jones.
And he still doesn't get it.
And he still didn't understand.
You spoke to that gigantic waste of space for 10 hours.
The walking Big Mac, yep.
It lasted almost 10 hours in between like the first response and where he finally said fuck it.
I'm gonna need a beer. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay, when he comes back, I'll explain it again. But basically, Headless Chicken just explained it. We are carbon based. We could technically be silicone based because silicone has the ability. Well,
Silica.
Silica itself is silicone dioxide, and it makes up 90% of the Earth's crust. So the dust
So
from
we're
the
made
Earth.
of the other 10%.
Yeah,
Actually, I love that point that the dust of the earth would technically be silica. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how, if that's true, why are we made from the 10% that's just carbon? Like
That makes us special.
Yes. Oh, he picked the one area, and no, who said this? Gary. the one with the hamster for the Avatar. He
Yeah.
goes, well, the Garden of Eden was nutrient rich, and so he picked up carbon rich soil, and I'm like,
Where in
What?
the Bible does
Wait.
it say any of this shit, you asshat?
Wait, is he just saying that we're all made out of fertilizer then?
basically, that was because I expressed
Really?
this concern I had, and he said, well, the Garden of Eden was a garden. It was pretty fertile, so
Well,
the
the dust of
soil.
the earth in that garden would be horse manure, so we are made of horse shit.
I point out, I was like, well, wouldn't we be nitrogen based? I just kind of threw it out there. I was like, because if you want to talk about nutrient rich soil and stuff for plants, I was like, nitrogen's a really good one.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to yell this, but there's no carbon in it.
I wanted to go there, but it was such a big conversation. It's like, just
I know. It's just.
okay. I'll okay, fine. Just
All
it was
right,
a good
back.
conversation.
Ken doesn't science.
No beer.
Ken, yeah. So Ken,
Did you say no beer?
Yeah, I got no beer, and it sucks.
Get
Oh,
your
yeah.
ass to the store.
Basically, all I have in my fridge right now is my father's beer, which is Bud Light Lime, which tastes like a puddle underneath a Long John Silver dumpster.
Ooh.
Wait, did you say Bud Light Lime?
Yeah, that doesn't even count as beer.
No, I mean, John Oliver actually slugged down one of those out of a bet.
That poor soul.
They brought that stuff back after last year?
The words of a street preacher I met years and years ago come to mind. There is beer in hell, but only Budweiser.
I'm sorry, I have a friend who freaked out when he found out that stuff was canceled
It's
at the end of the summer. And he went around calling everybody, asking them if they could find any at their local beer stores.
Bud Light. It tastes like a
With
raccoon.
lime.
Yeah, Bud Light. It tastes like a raccoon ejaculated in an old wet log.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about right.
We actually had a viewer for a second. Granted, the only people that can watch this one are the ones that are also on the invite list. In theory. This is just shared with my standard shuffle circles. So the folks in that list can either watch or come in
And
or whatever.
Skype groups.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that and Skype, of course, but the Skype, I just gave them the internal, not the external. But yeah, so this is limited invite only, whether it's to view or what have you, because this is just a pre-recording, which is going to be tagged to the end of the 18-fucking-day shuffle list.
Plastered on there.
So
If
why
a
did
penny-
Gary never show up?
If
Oh,
a
cool.
penny could urinate, it would taste like Bud Light.
The other thing that I'm considering doing is taking all the pre-recordings and airing them with a link in the bottom to a different Hangout. So anyone trying to join that particular Hangout to try and pull that kind of crap, I can immediately add them up to my block list. And if they try to sit there and flag it as, there's pornography in it, we'll know immediately who the culprit is, and they've already been reported to Google, and there is literally nothing in the Hangout.
So essentially, troll the trolls.
Yeah, basically, I'll send them to the bad boys room.
Oh, that's brilliant, actually.
The problem is that I'm willing to bet that Google would still take down the channel over it.
Mm.
What
Because
if
people reported there was sin? We're not going to look.
what if you make it just a hangout room, but not broadcast it live?
But in a few months I'll have money enough to sue Google if I have to.
That'll work. Sue the shit out of them.
You're going to sue the Google?
Yeah,
Sue the Google.
I think it sounds like a fucking splendid idea.
Somehow I think that's similar to dividing by zero.
It might be, but still.
One does not simply sue the Google.
Well, if they sit there and screw you over in terms of your account, and there literally was no... Because the thing is, with that last thing, they could say, well, see this tiny little thing here? There is pornography there. Nah, fuck you.
See, if I was the judge, I would look at Google and go, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Okay,
That's not pornography.
here, let's watch the video.
Spin.
Show me the porn.
It's like, listen, I want you.
No,
Google,
dude, I
to
didn't
show me
even
the porn
know
you
that they-
found so offensive.
I didn't even know it was porn they were showing until we'd been off air for like 5 minutes, and Headless is like, yeah, that's this thing called Meat Spin. That was porn. I'm like, I didn't even fucking know what the hell it was. I couldn't tell.
Took me 2 seconds to figure out it was something nasty.
I assumed it probably was, but I didn't fucking know. But yeah, anyway around it, I'm going to eventually take these, and I'm probably going to, on the main channel, just actually stream them normally so people can do their live commentary or whatever. Well, granted, the main channel I say now, but it's going to be 6 months before that thing's fucking available again, unless we can find someone that can help. Which I've passed on information. Who knows? Maybe something can come of that.
Always try.
Granted, I also invited. Anyway.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
just happened?
I'm watching a video that Lyrical Orion made today.
Oh no!
And
At
there's
choice
where the
number
fault
1.
starts.
That's
Yeah.
it's. I
Why do
guarantee
you torture yourself?
it's a song called "Big Red." Why you want inside of me? Song.
Oh, I know what that's about.
Wait, Lyrical Orion, you said?
Yes.
The
She's
one that
covering
denies Sandy
inside
Hook.
of me. I know exactly what that's about.
I have a feeling I know what that's about.
The
I know
Sandy Hook
exactly.
thing.
No, yeah. More specifically, the Dildo of the Week award from Robin Duper Ray that she got.
Actually, something that I've actually been talking to her on the side here. She's still not agreeing that she's wrong. I said, you are wrong. Not if and when, you just are. Get over it. And she responds with, I'm not saying I'm not wrong. Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I'm not wrong. I'm not saying I'm not wrong, but I'm not wrong. What?
Oh, yeah. But the last thing I said to her so far is, I know you're not saying you're wrong. That's your problem. Reality outweighs what you decided to ignore.
The second that she said someone had to disprove the Sandy Hook truthers, I was like, no, my dear.
Yeah.
The burden of proof does not work that way.
No, at the point at which you're claiming that the president had a bunch of special ops people go in there to murder a bunch of children for the sake of some fucking gun control argument having to do with the UN, which was actually rejected by Congress several decades earlier, you might have a problem.
Plus, it was supposed to be a bunch of actors hired? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, and there were no actual children. It was a later thing that they were claiming.
They're all midgets, little people. They're all hired by Hollywood. This is what's happened to the Munchkins ever since The Wizard of Oz was made.
Fucking lunacy. Yeah, I mean, it's the craziest damn thing. Now, I had a friend that was a little bit into the whole Sandy Hook conspiracy thing, but his conspiracy wasn't that there weren't any kids killed or any of this other crap. His conspiracy was that they had claimed it was an assault weapon for the sake of some conspiracy, and when they showed like the trunk of the car or something, that the weapon in there wasn't actually an assault rifle, or at least not one they were trying to ban.
Well, at least that's a little more palatable, at least.
Yeah, it's not quite as offensive as claiming that this was some false flag horse shit.
Yeah.
He was just saying that, they're claiming it was such and such rifle, and that's a different rifle. They need to not do that.
Well, he had other rifles in the car, didn't he?
Yeah, but that isn't what was shown when they were showing the weapon. And whether they were showing the weapon that was actually used or not on the feed, or a similar weapon, I don't know. But his objection was that, this was a conspiracy to ban certain kinds of weapons, so they were showing a different weapon than was actually used by the shooter.
Whatever. Somebody may have made a mistake. Didn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, though, I mean, that's kind of like a meh, whatever.
Yeah.
As opposed, this way you can just kind of like smirk at them and say, who gives a shit? I don't think Obama's going to do jack shit about the gun thing anyway, because, he hasn't so far. And I don't see any reason why he'd suddenly start.
And because he's the right of liberal, it's kind of laughable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Centrist.
Yeah.
But he's not even a centrist. He's to the right of center.
Oh, yeah, well, that's only because the U.S. politics spectrum is kind of over to the right to begin with. He's center of what's available right now.
But I know the big thing I learned from talking to this guy is never trust a white guy that calls himself Big Dog.
I know a white guy who calls himself Two Dog.
No, this guy was a former rodeo guy that got his back busted up.
Oh, no.
So, rodeo clown?
No, he was a rider. Bull rider.
No,
No, the clowns actually have a harder job.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, I mean, the people on the bull, once they fall off, out come the clowns. The clowns have the scary fucking job.
You guys can see that. Look what shirt I'm wearing, actually. This is pretty ironic.
Big dog. Yeah, but that's a brand name.
I thought that was pretty funny, though.
Yeah, hey, it works for me, man.
What?
Oh no, Jordy's on camera! Ah!
Yeah.
The
He has bedhead.
I do have that head.
Ooh, nice pink headset.
I don't know, is that like, does that
Rasta
count as
colors.
made enough to actually have valid arguments or not, Headless? You're the judge. Oh, well, camera's off, never mind. You missed it.
It no longer counts.
I just thought that was. I
Arador
thought that
made
was
fun of
pretty
his
funny.
pink headband and off he goes.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
actually, I made a comment about the half-made bed.
Oh, that.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
no, that's-
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kevin's not here to bug about that.
No, it's Headless who likes. This is Rasta headband. by
That
the way.
thing with Epi the other day was fucking epic, though.
He got up and made his bed.
Oh man, that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Imagine if you can't do something as simple as make your bed, all of your arguments are valid. Freaking Epi, aka Maximus Confesses, stands up immediately and makes his bed so his argument will be valid again.
Yeah.
No, literally,
And
I
then
got up.
points out that when his bed's all messy, it doesn't bother him. But when it's made and the one corner is folded over, that
Yep.
bothers him.
Yep. It bothered me too. It's a quirk of
Yeah.
OCD.
I'm
I
the same
guess.
way. Like, if I'm going to do it, it has to be right.
Yeah.
Well, when I make my bed and I'm all done and I discover there's a lump in the middle of it, I leave it.
That's the kitty.
Yeah, that's the cat
That's
helping
Yoda.
make the bed. She's laying underneath it. So fuck it, she'll find her way out.
All that lump will resolve itself eventually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because pressing that one down might be a risky maneuver.
Well, at the same point, it might actually be a cat conspiracy to make sure that Headless never actually has any arguments that are valid.
Exactly.
Oh, Vince sent me a picture.
Hey, my bed was made. I assembled it myself. It's from IKEA.
Ugh, anyway.
What, Rose?
Vince sent me a picture he took on the beach today. Apparently, it was windy.
Mm.
Oh.
And I will show you as soon as I can get it to let me screen share properly. There we go. There you go.
Oh shit.
Apparently it was windy.
Windy that day?
It was today. He's in Oregon visiting his mom at the moment. But he'll be back
Oh.
tomorrow night.
So that's why we have a lot of
Yay.
those recently.
And this, kids, is why you don't play games of Dare with walruses.
It's on electric fences.
Because that walrus will lick you.
Yeah. That fucking picture cracked me up.
Oh my.
Like, that's what I woke up to. I woke up and I'm like, hey, I'm awake now. And he's like, it was windy today.
That's something you like post on Reddit. Be like,
That's pretty fun,
really,
actually.
really windy today.
I don't know what really gets me is the beard in the picture. The like,
And what you should do is you should if you have Photoshop or something similar to that, like, put over a shirt, just make it white, and then put like a little line across, make it look like he's a scientist jacket on, or you look like a
Lab
mad
coat.
scientist. Lab coat, thank you.
I could
Well,
do
Jordan, you know why mad scientists look like that to begin with, right?
Because they don't make their bed.
Well, no, it's all the experiments they've done with electricity. It's all the static in the air.
Yeah.
Sure, right. We'll go with that.
Well, how many times do you have to touch a Tesla coil before it works?
Yeah, that's why after a while they just give up and shave their head.
There's a reason Einstein looked like that.
Because then they become an evil genius.
That's literally what Tesla became.
Well,
Yeah,
not
he paid-
evil. He just went cray-cray.
Well,
We know
no,
Tesla coils to
Tesla did pay
Sorry.
for a hotel bill with a box of parts that he claimed was a death ray. He
Hmm.
needed some assembly.
I think once you make a death ray, you're a mad scientist.
Yeah. And the hotelier did take the box in lieu of payment. So, evil genius, cray, you know,
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
He did have a death ray.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they would have kept those, if they actually kept those parts, they would have been worth like a shitload, regardless of whether they worked or not.
Oh
They
yeah,
test
just
those
because they're
shit.
Jordy, I think it was a spare bits box that he had. He just conned the guy.
Well, he was an evil genius, of course.
Of course.
So that makes him genius. Then he got out of a hotel bill by selling off some old parts.
Yep. Oh no, that's pretty funny because that's there's like a game theory that came out recently about like Fallout 4, and the guy in the currency in that game is what the fuck do you call bottle caps, and the guy had like 2,000 some bottle caps that he used to actually pay for the game. Turns out it was worth 4 cents, like all of the bottle caps, like in steel, and that's for like a $59 game. So he basically got a deal, really, like a really good deal. Thought that was pretty funny.
It worked.
I don't understand. Did he actually collect real bottle caps to pay
He
for it?
collected real bottle caps, which are the currency in the game, and he gave him like 2,000 bottle caps, just like ridiculous like that. And in steel, that's worth about 4 cents. So he basically got it for 4. He got the game for 4 cents.
But I think it's the determination to collect the bottle caps.
Yeah.
Considering how hard that may be today, considering that most bottle caps are plastic.
Yeah. But yeah, he had like even though it was worth like that would have taken so much time. But I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh, time enough it takes to chug this shit down.
I'll see if I can find the post.
You can get steel bottle caps because the small, like in Canada, you can get real small bottles, glass bottles, and
most caps you're going to find are going to be plastic.
Oh yeah.
In general, so you're going to have to look hard for metal ones.
Yeah, you'd have to get the specialty, whatever.
Here, Eurogamer has an article on it. It's like just a big box of bottle caps. I thought it was pretty cool.
Well, hey, I'd take the hit and give them the quote-unquote free game for all that effort, especially with the tie-in with the game currency. That's me. So.
Like,
you made it not boring.
The thing is, that's the real life like equivalent of what the bottle caps are worth. But like in game, he would have been overpaying if it were in game.
Oh, they'd have to give change over.
I think it was like $2,000 over or something like that if it were in game like value.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was crazy guy.
What game is this?
Fallout 4.
Ah.
It's a pre-order. He just literally that was his pre-order money.
How did he send it to them?
In a box.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They gave him kudos for uniqueness.
I'll be right back. Someone just sent me an invite to a private hangout. I think they want to talk to me one-on-one.
Okay.
Is it Nadia?
It's Matt Slick.
Ooh. Oh my.
Let's see if we can find that.
When does Fallout out again?
It's supposed to come out before the end of the year.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't remember. I had to find a purchase link to send to my mom. Vince wants it, and I was like, well, maybe my mother will get it for him for Christmas/birthday combined or something.
There was a pretty sweet, actually, in relation to Fallout 4. There was actually another really sweet Reddit post. It was like his grandparents like basically gave this guy like a game. He said he wanted some game, and he's like, here's some like $2 game from like the discount bin, and he's like, oh shit, well whatever. He opens inside. It's like a Fallout 4 like pre-order thing. And he's like, no, $60 there. And he's like, no, sorry, now sorry for the shitty game. Now go pre-order Fallout 4 or something. I thought it was pretty funny or cool.
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't realize the cameraman thing. I thought I turned that thing off. Fuck it. Present to everyone. Oops, not present to everyone. Wrong one. Sorry. Show and broadcast. There we go.
What?
Right, it's the star of the show.
Hitting too many fucking buttons here. There we go.
Dragnot is broadcasting from Chicago.
That was quick.
Yeah, no, it's John McDropout. I wanted to see if you do you mind him coming in here? Or
Yeah, John McDropout. Yeah, he can come in.
Okay, he's just lonely. That's all.
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh.
He's lonely. He just wants friends.
I know
Yeah.
that. Like, I've been all by myself for like a week. It's been a week now.
Hang on, I'm gonna show you the listing I was looking at because you'll get a kick out of it. Here you go, Rose. Skype.
Let's see.
So what are you saying, Rose? You're just here for the white noise?
No, I'm here for these so I don't freak the fuck out about being home alone all the time.
That's what
Because-
said white noise.
No, it's not even white noise. It's the conversation. It's
White
communication.
noise.
Yeah.
Okay, that's racist.
Exactly.
And you don't
Why does
have
it
to
have to
be
be
looking,
white?
and you don't have to be looking for friends when you're lonely. You just could be looking for engagement, which goes along with not white noise.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Talkeetna doesn't even have a school. What are they listing it as above average for?
Ah, fuck, I know.
Like,
I
this
don't know.
is
Maybe
their-
they think above average is homeschooled. I don't fucking know.
I don't. Well, I mean, they've got like sort of. They've got like a sort of school, but it's not an actual school.
And what is it?
They've got like it's like classes a couple times a week that you can bring your family to, that kind of thing. It's like outdoor stuff.
My dad's in the same class as I am.
It's not like an actual proper school.
Okay.
Ask for what, Red? Was that Red saying that, or?
What I think is funny is all the other buildings that are actually on the property. It looks like these are former buildings, and they just keep building more and more of the damn things. Around about 36, it starts getting to the secondary buildings when you're going through the photos.
I'm trying to find the photos. Where are the photos?
Click on the little picture. It says
There it
photos.
is. Okay.
13, someone else came into the room, by the way.
I'll get that. Hang on.
Oh, that house is cute.
There we go. Dun dun dun.
You do.
That's not a log house. That's clapboard siding.
Is that what it is? I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
the,
no,
the
just-
thing. That's the little thing with the wood burning stove. You mean, right?
the first image they show, the white house with the red roof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just regular siding.
Yeah, but when you get to 36, it gets to the house next to it, which is this little log-looking thing.
Pretty little balcony deck thing happening near the water.
There's all kinds of stuff going on this property, including a fucking hangar. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I was joking with Red saying, yeah, if we were able to see about getting something like this, what we'd have to do is we'd have to get you your pilot's license. She'd only taken a couple courses, but she did enjoy it.
Yeah, Vince wants to get his pilot's license. He flew some in high school.
Sounds like a good place to start a commune on.
Oh, want me to show you the link?
Sure.
Put it in here. I was having fun just goofing off looking at properties, and I ran across this one. I was like, holy crap. There's like 20 acres of fucking
Ew.
land as well,
Ew,
but it's
base
gorgeous.
horses.
Cool.
Not
You good day,
one.
John?
Oh, wait, I don't want to have it on the photo page. Let me close out of that. Sorry. Let me send a more proper link.
Ooh. Looks like an old schoolhouse, to be honest.
It's cute.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, baseboard heating, nah. Do not want it. It's
bet you
so
would-
inefficient. And given that this is like a regular stick-built house, the baseboard heating is practically useless. Like you're freezing or dropping $1,000 a month on heating costs.
Yeah, apparently the big fucking green-ass building with massive doors that slide to the side is the hangar. I'm guessing. There's also a little silver building, too. But yeah, there's so many fucking buildings on this property. And
It's
at
nice.
least one of them looks like a hangar.
That
I
one
like
with the
it.
red
It's all
trim.
pretty. I like this house.
That first one with the red trim, that really looks like either a communal hall or an old
Yeah.
one-room
It's like an old
schoolhouse type thing.
schoolhouse.
Yeah.
I like the look of it. I think it's cute, but
Mm.
it's not at all reasonable for Alaska. Not with fucking baseboard heating. Idiots come up here and put baseboard heating in.
Damn, that's a river. Nice.
Where in Alaska is this?
Talkeetna. It's about a 2-hour drive north of me.
Okay.
Yeah, but you guys could build a house in our backyard.
Hell, perfect place for the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bamboo, I think, on hardwood flooring.
Oh, the flooring.
That's-
Yeah.
That looks,
It might
yeah,
be.
that's nice
It's
stuff.
nice. It's a nice house.
I have to say, though, this is a gorgeous fucking view.
It's just not reasonable for Alaska. Oh, the little guest cabin. That's a guest cabin. That's
Is
what.
that what it is?
whoever-
Okay.
Yeah, that's what was likely lived in for the first few summers, like the first few years. Of
Yeah,
the,
when they were
Okay, I know we've already discussed the baseboard
it's a
heating,
cabin kit, though.
but why is it? It almost looks like every wall has baseboard heating in it.
Because it's so fucking inefficient, and it's unreasonable to think that baseboard heating in a fucking
Yeah.
stick-built house is
Yeah.
going to actually keep you warm, unless you have every single.
Or in other words,
baseboard.
you'd be wanting to put another heating system in anyway.
Yeah. Looks
Well,
like
that-
somebody just flipped it and used.
That gives some ground for
cheapest.
negotiation, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the little log cabin
Ooh,
is from a kit. It was bought and hauled out.
I love that upstairs bathroom.
John McDrop, man, it's been ages. How you been, man?
Come on, cat, get off that.
And yes,
If you've got a
13
mic.
Green Building is a hangar.
Yes, I was right. Haha.
The
Or-
hangar or
Or a
workshop?
shop, in any case. It might be a workshop.
Because I don't see a big. Well,
No, that's those doors open all the way.
There's the log cabin.
yeah, they barn door, but they don't open the whole side of the building up to put like wings in.
Yeah, but we're talking small plane.
Yeah.
Like that building that's plenty big for
Okay.
a float plane. Like
All
for the kind of plane you can land there. It's plenty big enough.
Oh wait, this house has a basement.
Yeah,
Well, it's
they-
not Florida, man.
Well, no, I
There's
just
a lot of shit, man.
the way the elevation was at the front, I didn't see the basement until later.
Somebody's in Florida. The fuck is wrong with you?
Nah, the thing I'm looking at's actually
Oh,
Alaska.
that's
Red line, guess what? You'll eventually have to go back there.
He
So-
is.
Dun dun dun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been joking about moving to Alaska after the Fundy apocalypse, so.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would not live there, and I would not recommend buying this place. Till I get-
Aw.
What about the property?
Well, the land, sure, but not for fucking $500,000. It's not worth that much.
Oh
Is
yeah.
it-
By the way, what is it with Canadian motels? I was taller than the goddamn shower head in every single motel I stayed. What the fuck is wrong with
You'll find the same fucking thing in Texas.
Yeah.
Don't
It's,
tell me
it's
that.
like the shower head is 5'5" above the floor, and I'm 6'5". I'm like, what the fuck?
No,
Yeah.
this is why when you get a house in Texas, the first thing you do is do something about the fucking height of that shit.
Yep.
You just go to Home Depot. They have these little things that just basically bend the stream up about another foot, and I've got one of those in my shower.
I think Canada is biased against tall people.
I'm only 5'9", and I've had to do that in apartments in Texas.
I got one of those ones that's the hose with the handheld piece, so I just take it off and use that.
Well, shower heads are yet another thing that is not bigger in Texas. Well, the head
big in
itself
Texas,
might be,
it's
but
tall.
you know, yeah, it's not tall enough. Yeah, trees aren't that tall either.
I also heard in Texas that you guys are dealing with 105-degree temperatures on average.
Right now, are we doing 105 degree temperatures now, honey? I never go out during the day. Oh, we are. Okay, that's not that unusual, really.
No.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas, so.
I mean, it's Texas. It's just, you know, oh well, it gets hot.
Yeah.
It's only going to get hotter. That's what I've heard, at least.
Yep. I'll tell you, Nova Scotia has changed significantly during the winter and that since I was a wee lad. I remember snow in October, not often.
Oh, here we go. Making
No.
Halloween costumes that fit over snowsuits.
No.
Canadian tradition.
But I mean, the seasons themselves have changed dramatically. The winters are not what they were. The springs are not what they were. The summers are not what they were. And it's been slowly degrading and the winters are shorter. We get snow generally in January now, and then it stays until spring, and when we have another snowstorm before the melt.
The damn newfies keep coming further inland, and they keep trying
hang
to
on,
fucking
guys.
assimilate.
I've got to make a joke here. Hang on, hold still. There we go.
Oh,
That's just so emo.
Now, of course, that's not that's just sparkling cider, but still it looks
Yeah.
hilarious.
No, I meant the face. It is face paint, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
But with a little kitty nose thing and the bottle of the sparkling cider and the glass and all that, it's just absolutely hilarious scene.
yeah.
Loving it. Yes, it looks like she's double fisting a beer and a bottle of champagne. Yeah.
There's a song there somewhere.
I think John needs to be out. Oh, okay.
Huh. So that's how it's done.
I should go check on my wife.
Usually,
Planning to escape?
No, I performed my husbandly duties and she fell asleep. She was supposed to make dinner.
Oh. They say men have problems with that.
Well, I did fall asleep on her while we were on vacation. I was tired.
Oh boy, that was the strangest conversation I've ever had. Let's leave that as it was. Okay.
It's like, what does one say to this information?
No, it's sparkling cider, so it's the bubbling. So she went to drink directly out of the bottle. And it then proceeded to start foaming up inside the bottle, and she was ill-prepared.
Did it come out of her nose?
No, but the conversation that was had was one that's best left offline.
Okay.
Because she went to a dark place with it, or at least a place where a father doesn't want to hear his daughter goes with it.
Actually, I'm just reading John's comment here about the shower heads being like at the 5.5 foot mark.
Yeah.
I think it's because they're trying to save copper.
That's bullshit.
No, because this house is built in the 50s.
people weren't that much shorter then.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, there was a never mind.
So the 50s in Texas would have been 2001.
So it could have been a water pressure issue too.
It's another foot.
Water pressure issue could be possible actually.
Is it really so bad that another foot is going to kill the entire system?
Well, the thing is, in theory, you might use a little bit less water because there's less being pumped through the pipes.
Yeah.
The thing is that the reason I take 30-minute showers is because I can afford it. And I at least want the shower head to be over my head if possible. I have mine modified to be 7 feet above.
Yeah, but you may not have to electrically pump it.
Yeah.
And 1 foot may mean a hell of a lot of difference in that.
Especially if you're in were you in a hotel or motel?
I was in a little both, actually. In a hotel, and then I was in a motel.
Yeah.
And every single one of them had their shower heads at the 5.5 foot mark, and I'm like, the fuck, I'm 6. I had to like crouch down and kneel down to get the fucking shower head to wash my hair. It's like, oh god.
I have had to do this.
It's like bullshit. Put the shower head above, raise it up. Put that bitch up there.
Let the dogs in instead of murdering them, please.
You don't
Someone's
need
I prefer dogs inside versus being murdered.
Don't murder the dogs.
Yeah, they're making a racket scratching at the door apparently.
Ah.
When we have the opportunity to, we're getting a dog door, whether it be here or somewhere else. We're looking at what it would take to make all the changes that we want here, and it might be overbuilding for the neighborhood. So,
Who in the fuck is this?
and the fuck is what's?
All right, I'm doing some other things on the computer. I'm basically going over the images of my vacation, and there is a photo I have of us at the fucking yacht thing that we stayed at in Canada land, and it's actually a pretty decent picture. Cottage. It's like a small little cottage, and there's a fucking pumpkin there. A lot better than what we have here in America land.
No, we have Europe, but no comments. I'm guessing it's probably King 9. I don't know. Very limited list of people that can view it this time.
Take this image, somehow modify it so that I can block out the license plate, then I'll show you guys, but fuck it.
I have a dog in my lap.
Well,
This one's Cuddles.
looks like I'm making my own dinner.
Aww.
Oh, you poor soul.
I didn't. I went to Jack in the Crack.
Jack and Crack.
Jack in the Box. I haven't seen that since Baton Rouge.
I have to say, they're
Have
not
a Jack in the Box where I am.
I have to say, they're not actually bad for fast food.
Yeah, they're not.
There's only one. There's only one fast food place that I really miss, and I got to go there in South Carolina, and that's Cane's, Raising Cane's.
Ow! Please don't hit the mic, puppy. Come on, calm down, or I'll make you get off.
I miss Sonic. I miss Sonic so
Oh,
much.
Sonic, yeah.
So I actually went there for lunch and got one of their peanut butter shakes.
I
What
hate you.
When I first came down here, they still actually had the. Don't hit the mic. They still had the whole thing with the people on roller skates at Sonic, but I haven't seen that at a Sonic in ages.
Oh, they still do. They have them here.
The roller skating is just optional now. Like it's
No,
not.
I know it's optional. I just haven't seen it at any of the ones that I've gone to in ages.
Yeah, they're like, no health insurance? Yeah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, pretty much.
I miss Sonic. I miss Sonic so much.
Yeah,
no
my
Sonic
favorite
in the
hedgehog. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get
I want
down.
an orange
Me love
thing,
you. Me love you.
desperately.
We love you a long time.
$3 you and your buddy.
No, you were getting annoying. You were getting all thumpy with the head. No. This little SOB will just start smack right in the jaw.
Sounds like my son.
Oh yeah,
Both of my kids were like that. They went through that phase.
Yeah, speaking of animals, I just found out that I was totally right about Lenny and his little rabbit, because when he actually took us out to get some food, and by us I meant me and Vincent, and the thing I said is, so how's the bunny? And he goes, oh, the bunny's gone. It was a little ball of destruction.
Man, I've been trying to get him in a fucking hangout for ages. That's just.
Yeah, he said it tore up everything, and the thing was that there was no deposit that one needed to put down on a bunny, but there was a deposit to be put down on a cat, which is what they have now, but the cat doesn't do shit, and the bunny tore up everything. It was like, so, how's the bunny? He goes, his little
Here's the
fucking Irish
deposit.
accent. He was a ball of destruction.
Here's the deposit. We've already lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing, is like in Texas, you sit there, you put a deposit down there, and they'll come up with any fucking way to make up an excuse to just get rid of the deposit.
Oh yeah, you
Any
never get
fucking
a deposit
excuse.
back. It doesn't matter if your animal actually destroyed anything or not. You're not getting a deposit back.
Oh, you could leave that property in better fucking condition than when you went in there, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah. At the very least, they'll claim it needs new carpet.
Oh, they tried pulling that shit with me. I'm like, okay, when we moved in, not only did we say don't bother putting in new carpet, but we also get a discount on our pet deposit because of it. And we were there for like 5 fucking years. They should have normally you would have replaced it long before that. Well, the tenants are still in there, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And we waived on that, so we wouldn't have to worry about it. And they're like, no. And I'm like, and when they basically said no, we're keeping the deposit anyway, I said, okay, fine, I'm keeping the fucking washer and dryer then. So I did. Still have them. Fuck that shit. That was never on the actual lease, and then just never took them out of there. So fuck them. Mine now. Keeping my fucking deposit, sons of bitches.
Okay, either my video driver just rebooted, or somebody just logged in remotely, but I don't see anything.
Not doing it remotely. How the hell would they want to?
Exploits. I'm killing Skype for the moment.
Doubt it was that, but.
I know, but just if it was probably a memory issue, but there's a couple new programs that I don't recognize.
Interesting.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Ken Jones challenged me to a debate.
Oh, for fuck's sake, don't give that guy the light of
Oh,
day.
wait, this is that buddy of G-Tards, isn't it?
Yeah, the fat one.
Don't give
But
that
all
fucker
said
the
because
light of day.
somebody actually disagreed with them and had a discussion with them. Oh no, you weren't respectful of my friend's stupid ideas.
He doesn't deserve it, man. He doesn't deserve it.
No, I declined. That's the last post I had on G Plus is
thanks.
saying that I'm
Thank
not doing
whatever
that.
fucking god you happen to believe in, if any.
Well, it was like let's debate the value of a Christian world, a Christian life, as opposed to an atheistic, humanist life, and I'm like, that's incredibly fucking subjective. I'm not debating anybody about that.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
okay.
cars.
I can actually. I can. No.
Fucking-
I could debate that really easily, Drag. Okay, most Christians, when they're not actively at church, are simply off living their lives. Most atheists are simply living their lives. It's the same thing. Fuck off.
Yeah, that
Yeah, pretty
basically
much.
ended it.
That's it. Nothing more needs to be said.
I mean, it's not like somebody's sitting there and every aspect of their life is changed now that they're identifying as Christian. Regardless of what these idiots try to claim, it doesn't work that way.
Well, he has this weird idea of I guess everything that you do is just kind of counter to what he does. So instead of you waking up in the morning and, oh, thank God that he woke me up this morning, and you go, oh, it's a good morning. Thank God God doesn't exist. You know, just like really crazy ideas. And so I was thinking about doing like a satirical video.
So,
You know,
so Dragnot, basically the difference is when an atheist wakes up in the morning, they're thankful they didn't have a heart attack or die in their sleep. And when a Christian wakes up in the morning, they're thankful that God didn't send angels to smother them with a pillow while he slept.
yeah, it's a much kinder thought.
Okay, I've got a tech question. Windows 7. It just snapped back, and I had because I changed my theme as well. It was 2 processes for ConHost exe and what was the other one? WinSat exe, a Windows System Assessment Tool.
Eh?
But the interesting thing is it changed my friggin' theme colors.
The theme colors is fucking weird, but I don't know. That sounds like it's part of the auto update system.
You might have to
know.
go in and delete that Win32.exe program.
Yeah, it could be something in there.
Win what?
No.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I know, it sounded wrong. Trust me.
Don't do that.
No, that was a bad troll.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick. Don't be a
Don't
dick.
laugh. I know someone who actually went and did it because some
Yeah.
people
Look,
do it.
I worked at a computer store years ago. Guy brought his computer 3 times because he kept deleting the Windows directory on his hard drive because he said, well, Windows is on the system. I don't need it on my hard drive. Yeah. So, yeah, I get you. I get you, but this was just, I've never had this happen before. This was weird.
Is this where you take them in the back room, you sit them down in the chair, and you start the PowerPoint?
No, he was helpless.
You said this
Old guy.
dipshit's name was Ken what, Jones? What?
Yeah.
Sorry, Greg? Kim Jones, was it?
Ken Jones.
Ken Jones.
Yeah, Ken like Ken and Ryu and
Eddie!
Huh?
That's a very fucking common name. Holy shit.
And
Well, he has G-Man in his avatar, and they're like almost
Cool.
kissing.
Oh.
It's a very noticeable avatar.
Who's Tommy Gunn?
okay.
I don't see the word Smooch and G-Man avatar in any of these people, so I don't know.
I will be back in a minute. I'm going to reboot.
Are you on Google Plus right now?
No, I'm just going through the list. There's what looks like... No, that's a white dude.
Wait.
Am I wrong in assuming that? Anyway.
Oh, type in Preacher Ken Jones.
Oh,
Wait a second. Hold on.
Oh, I think I see. He's holding some stupid fucking sign.
Hold on, let me make sure.
Some stupid fucking sign. Sounds about right.
It's like there's some greenish looking bent sign thing next to his head or something. Or is that a hat?
That's it's a hat. It's a black hat with like white words on it, and
Yeah.
and G-Man's on the left hand side of it.
Okay. Hey, should I invite the retard?
He might be on. He might, I don't know. He talks like he has this weird cadence.
He does.
The best way I can describe him, it sounds like the kid who can barely read in your literature class, but for some reason gets picked to stand up and read Othello.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like he's an okay guy. I mean, as far as temperament, but he's not. It's obvious he's not all there, and so you kind of want to, play with him with kid gloves and.
Yeah, I bet that dollars to donuts that wouldn't show up anyway. But why the hell not? The name was mentioned.
Yeah,
and it is an old tradition in shuffles to invite people and their names mentioned more than once. Except for Prudent, he just kind of asks for an invite, but his name's mentioned the third time. It's weird.
I don't know. Kid Prudence, I've been kind of watching him talk to Eve, and I've been interested in what he's been saying about certain things. So he's just kind of one of my watch lists.
Oh, wait a minute. Now
Which, actually, we're live right now?
We are pre-recording.
Pre-recording, okay.
Pre-recording. I'm not doing anything that's technically fully live. Basically, the people that are on the invite list can also watch, usually.
Okay.
The people that I invite individually that aren't in my regular list of people to invite into Hangouts, they can't see it. And I've made a point of making sure to say to people, please don't share this on G+. This is an unlisted thing. I don't want it showing up on anyone's feeds if possible.
Yeah, I was thinking about making an unlisted video just for my Patreons. Just kind of, personal video going over some of the stuff I really or rarely talk about. Just as kind of something for sticking in there and helping to donate to causes.
Yeah, that's the other thing this is going to fuck me out is a Patreon thing.
Well, what I'm going to do is just make specific videos for people and then just give them the link and just make it unlisted.
Yeah. What I do is things that I do for like clip shows and this kind of stuff is usually patron only rather, and I let them watch the full thing if they want because I usually only grab like 10 minutes out of the clip shows. Granted, the last one I did full fucking live because it was the time of the month to plug for patrons. So. Then I got hit with this. I'm not even going to bother to do a plug this month. Fuck that shit. Hell, I won't be doing a plug for the next 6 months because fuck that.
I hope some of these other these other systems, these other talk whatevers come online and they're actually popular.
I looked at one of them and really fucking didn't like it.
Was it Blab?
Yes.
It's really interactive. It's cute for Instagram.
It's really interactive and it's tied to Twitter, which I don't think I necessarily like.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem is the coming and going and this and that is a little bit weird. And when you go to join the fucking thing, it's like, well, what do you want to set for your camera? What do you want to set for your mic? What about what do I want to set for my fucking output audio? What the hell, people?
Yeah, that's one of the things too. Is like you need a Twitter account in order to, fucking use it. I'm like, I don't want this broadcasted all over Twitter. Unless
you actively tweet something, it doesn't actually send something out on Twitter, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
That's what I did once. I got invited by Nate. I'm like, what the hell? I'll take a look. And I went in there right after fucking Roy Montero left.
Yeah, Roy's on there and Rand
I was not putting up with Rand was in the room in front. I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, I'm not going to call this a low-rent district. I'm like, moron. I'm like, I got news for you, dude. You have, like, no fucking viewers here. Of course, I was in there for, like, I don't know, just a few minutes, and, there's this little thing of, like, give the person love or thumbs up, or it's basically they're cool with a thumbs up, and you can keep hitting it, apparently. And, I went in there, and Nate was, like, 100, and the other people have been at whatever the hell they were at. I go in there, and within a couple minutes, I'm like, oh, look, I'm at 600 already. And people are joking, like, why do people like Heathen more than everyone else? So mine gets like 1,800, and I'm like, okay, Nate's has been having problems reconnecting. Give him some. And then all of a sudden, his goes to like 500. I'm like, this is funny as shit, man. I was sitting there doing the clap for Tinkerbell kind of thing. They clapped for Tinkerbell, didn't get him back in. I don't know. Then it went offline a few minutes later. But I did end up talking to one of the people that was in the comment section for a little bit of a while after they took his goofy little thing off air. That was kind of interesting. This guy was like one of these, like one of these theists that's apparently never really sat down and talked to somebody that's an atheist.
He's just kind of heard things, and he has these.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of that kind of thing. And it's, and he's like, well, I mean, if you have some questions about religion, I can certainly answer them for you. I'm like, dude, really? Come on. And because the thing is, I'm sitting there and I'm talking about varied things there. It's like, well, what do you really find objectionable about this, and what do you find objectionable to that? I mean, well, I'm qualified. I mean, if you have questions about the theology, I'm like, I think I might know something about that. I'm not sitting here just talking out of my ass. The fact that I can't remember what verse G-Man quoted in some fucking discussion that I referenced
in the book
doesn't mean that I don't know anything about your theology, for fuck's sake. It means I don't have the verses memorized. Why? I'm not a Christian. Why would I?
I'm kind of talking to an apologist right now. Alex Jules from Houston Skeptics. He went to some apologist get together, whatever, and there's a picture with him tagged, and so I'm talking to Alex going, you don't look very convinced, Alex, I'm saying this sarcastically, and the guy who he's in the picture with, looking at, starts responding, so he and the apologist is talking, is having a discussion with me, and dude, he's going over he's trying his hardest to force my assertions into his kind of, into his script, and I'm kind of pointing out, I was like, you're kind of conflating morals and ethics in here, and it's really cute how he does this, but it's obvious that he's never engaged in a conversation with people who are really, really familiar with apologetics.
Yeah.
And it really shows. Like I don't, and I'm talking to Alex Jules in the what you call it, in the inbox messages, going like, this guy has no clue, does he? He's like, no, he just got his PhD in theology or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Diploma mills are awesome, and so I'm sure he feels nice about that. But yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is that they're taught this, that, and the other thing. But in terms of the apologetics, we've heard most of this shit before, and they don't seem to get that.
Well, some of them are still operating under the assumption that, well, people don't believe because they haven't heard the gospel. And for the ones who've heard the gospel, they just heard a bad version of it, or they haven't read from the correct Bible.
You deny the truth.
Yeah, another fucking sad apologetic. Of course, I think the only person that's heard my take on this is Para.
Possibly.
Because I've never gone live with it. For good fucking reason, because it's my trump card.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Green eyes, blue eyes.
Yep.
But yeah, I've anyway, I'm not going down that road. But yeah, I've been talking a little bit more free form about my actual view, my quasi-theological views. Granted, there's no fucking Theo. And that's kind of the thing is that, yeah, I did my whole weird fucking spiritual shit back in the day. And at the end of the road, there was no God. Sorry, guys, fuck off.
Yep. That's why I call myself an atheist now.
And I've been pulling that shit out a lot lately because there are some people that are like, oh, well, that, you're just not understanding what you're dealing with because that's actually God and Jesus. I'm like, no, it's not. Fuck off.
That's definitely not you attributing my experiences to your fucking God. Of course.
Well, I mean, the thing is, this was back when I was in the whole shamanic thing and blah, 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 and all that crap. And I went on my little journey, and over the course of trying to figure shit out, I got what I would refer to as beast source. But it wasn't sentient. It wasn't self-aware. It wasn't conscious. It had no needs, desires, wants, any of this kind of stuff. It had no fucking will. It was just there. And the more you try to define it, the less you're actually making any fucking sense, and I know that. But this was kind of the end of it, and it was fun because you have one Christian in the room at the time, after me telling this story, sitting there, trotting around with all these things of, well, you just must have misinterpreted God because it must have been God of the scriptures. I'm like, no, dude, you're defining this God thing as something that's sentient and self-aware. You've already gone off the rails.
Yeah.
And there was another guy that's like, well, I mean, why would we believe that your account of this is something that's actually real? And I said, I wouldn't accept it as being something that's real. I think it's quite possibly simply an expression of my subconscious mind trying to understand things in my conscious mind is sitting there and too blocked by modern day interpretations to actually be able to comprehend properly. So I think it's my subconscious just trying to communicate to me. So I don't think it really matters either way. And this guy's like, oh, well, if you're not taking it as being an absolute, then who gives a fuck? You know, so you're just saying you had this experience and it's probably just your brain playing with you and you're okay with that. Cool, fine. And what I'm saying to the Christians, but if this is something that you're going to claim is something that's true and real, then we've got a problem because that doesn't match up with your bullshit theology.
Exactly.
So, I mean, either way, it's kind of a stop point for it's a stopgap for the discussion. It's like, okay, we're kind of done here, aren't we?
Yeah, they're going to try to make some type of connection and shoehorn their theology in there, and it never fails. And like you can even mess with them and like, oh yeah, I had this experience. It just be really vague.
Well, the thing that got me though is this guy turns around because of course my wife is a theist, and you know, world religion degree and all that fun stuff. And this guy turns around and says, well, I think there might be a purpose why you and your wife were brought together. And I'm thinking, well, you're absolutely right. It could be possible that the reason why my wife and I got together is so that I could help her gain a better understanding of the divine. And this guy just... I think I meant that. No, I meant that the other way around. I'm like, well, you know, he has grown a lot in her view of the divine since meeting me, so...
Hoist upon his own petard. And mentioning of that, hello, Prudent. Mr. Tasty White Face.
Oh, no. Oh, come on, Nicholas.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's not nice.
No, let Prudent talk. He has some very interesting views of certain topics. And by certain topics, you know what I mean.
I know. I guess I
I've
don't know.
been-
Prudent knows.
I have been doing nothing but just arguing with people for the last 2-3 days.
Oh, I
And
know.
I've
I've been watching.
I've done, and to be fair, like, a lot of people are getting a little pissed off at me because I've really upped my snarkiness, and I've just come to that point where I just don't care what people think about that anymore.
Yeah.
I kind of got that. I got a quick question for you, though.
But,
What does Black Lives Matter mean?
oh dear. Look, I just had I have one issue with one guy's statistics in the video he begs for BLM and people go apeshit on me. Come on.
What does Black Lives Matter mean?
I spent like 3-4 hours going through those stats, man. Like, cut me some slack.
It's kind of interesting that this
I'm
comes
so
up because...
confused
Well, sorry, Rose, cut you off.
Oh, I just said I'm so confused right now.
There's a political movement that recently a couple of people kind of knocked off the rails with their own fucking bullshit ideology.
Who turned out to be Palin Teepers.
Well, hold on. I've always been saying this to people. Yeah, like, they said that woman used to be a former Palin supporter, and I'm always saying, well, what part of former are you not getting? That everyone wants to claim, like, oh, it's a conservative...
No. We don't know if she still is or not. We know that last time Palin was making some kind of bid for something, she was a huge Palin supporter at that time. We don't know what her political standing is now necessarily. We do know that she's been a Tea Party activist as well, and that her taking away the mic from somebody that was going to speak, who was a strong supporter of equal rights and has been and has a long history of this in Congress, and referring to him as a white supremacist as well as pretty much everyone in the audience while bitching about having to sit there and tell these damn white people that her life matters.
Well, hold on. Well,
I don't think it's on her part.
No,
No.
and all of the, hang on, Prudent, and in addition to that, all the body language and facial language, as well as the way she used her language, it was self-righteous bullshit. And she used the banner Black Lives Matters as a clickbait. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, but I did...
The thing is, there have been Black Lives Matter supporters that have stood up at varied political rallies and Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. And when the speaker up at the front says all lives matter, they get all pissed off.
Yeah,
I think that's bullshit because all lives do fucking matter. You know, this problem with, you know, police killing people, essentially. This abusiveness in police departments doesn't affect just one demographic. Now, whether it misproportionately affects one demographic or not, well, that's something that's worthy of looking into. And I don't know what the stats are on that, but nonetheless, you know, it's one of those things that, yeah, we have a fucking problem. We need to address it.
Well,
And I'm glad that you have a group bringing the attention to it. But when you have people at some kind of rally or something getting pissed off at white people and calling everyone a white supremacist, you've got a problem there because you're alienating potential supporters at that point.
That, and she came across quite the racist.
Yeah.
well, here's the thing, though. I actually found the Facebook pages of those two women because we know their names. Both of them seemed like be very supportive of all the Black Lives Matter stuff. A lot of them were sending that out like as their Facebook,
When
post.
were those pages created?
And when were they last updated?
Yeah.
Some of
Because
them actually were. Some of them were support. I did look back. Some of them were supporting that kind of content even before the Bernie Sanders speech. So
The woman that took the mic created her Facebook page the day of that incident.
I could probably look that up. I don't.
Proven. You just had a bit of a tiff with Kizzy.
Oh my
Wait.
All right.
Shut up. Hang on. Let people finish their sentences.
You may want to check the video that I put out with the script of Heathens there on gullibility, because that really is all about the battle that Zoom had with me and Brian J. And it's a good reminder that what looks on the surface is not always pretty. It is prettier than what's inside. Sorry.
What bullshit is Kazum in again?
Well, he
Same
actually.
shit.
Well, my favorite part was he called me out on a fallacy that he had no idea what it meant. That was my favorite part.
Oh, okay, Prudent, what was the fallacy that he called you out on?
The fallacy. It's basically where you say, you've made a fallacious comment, therefore your entire argument is invalid. Or, sorry, unsound. That's the better word. Just put it.
So that's the fallacy when you call someone, when you point out someone's fallacy.
What happened was, I called him out on...
Hold on. When you're arguing with somebody, pointing out their fallacies is not a technique to win an argument.
No. Actually, what it's saying is, since this one thing is a fallacy, everything else you've said is invalid.
Yeah.
And I never said that. That's the whole point. That's what the fallacy that he tried to call me out on was. But
He demands he's right.
yeah, but there was more to it. Like I called him out on
Hang
one
on. What, Red?
Just a quick random question to get off the fucking Kazum topic. How's the finger?
Check it out.
Nice.
We almost have an erect finger. I'm still having problems with this one getting in the way of raising it completely, but we're fucking close.
Nice.
Can you do the Klingon thing yet?
No.
Or rather,
I'm getting better.
No,
I'm getting better. I'm getting better, but still there's a spread problem, but it's getting broader slowly.
It's right there, dude. It's right there.
Sweet.
Fucking right there. If it's not there, it's on the fucking doorstep.
Yeah, it's getting better, but
Yeah. More typing, damn it.
Well, actually, today I'm trying to type. I'm just like words, no work. It's my fingers. I'm sitting there. My fingers intuitively know where the keys are because I did a modified form of touch typing. The glance down, glance up kind of thing. Because I'd always have to double check my finger positions, and I keep glancing down. And my hands are just not where I fucking told them to be, and I'll be like, "Oh wow, every E is now a C. How the fuck did that happen?" Because my finger's like.
keyboard upside down.
Well, you're getting better, which is good. So
Yeah.
the human brain is definitely doing its shit right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's now frustrating instead of impossible.
When you're done typing your whatever you're typing here, if you need someone to proofread it, you can always give it to Gary. I think he could proofread it for you.
Yeah, he noticed missing words, right?
For that, he almost deserves a kick.
Yeah, pretty much. Thinking about it. But no, Red looks over everything. Now, granted, this last time she missed a couple. This is a weird statement. She missed that I missed a couple words at one point, but she was also tired.
Frankfurt.
It's a good excuse.
Well, I just wanted to say one thing though, the Kizzy thing. What he had done was
No, you never want to say one thing. Go ahead, Prudence. Say three things.
Okay. Well, the thing
We'll
with
give you
Kizzy
three.
was that he strawmanned me like in part of our comment exchange, so I called him out on that. And then just because by virtue of me calling him out on a straw man, he said, "Well, then you're committing the fallacy," which is not true. But he somehow tried to keep going on with that. So that's kind of why I got a little mad, and I even made like a little video response to him. Didn't hear back from him, which kind of surprised me because I know he always loves to argue with people. Well, until he
loves making shit up. Yeah.
Oh man, what was it? There was some fallacy. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was that Shamos was sitting there trying to call someone out on the other day, and it was fucking hilarious. Because the statement that was made, it was by Simon, actually. Simon made this statement, and it was something along the lines of, well, you know, even if there wasn't a God, that's not to say that the laws of physics wouldn't be still there. There's no reason to think these laws of physics would be there whether a God exists or not. And he's like, that's begging the question, and we're like, what? The fuck? I think it was begging the question, at least. He's like, we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, because he's already assumed the conclusion. I'm like, no, he said either or. What the fuck? Well, yes, but if you're going to say that it doesn't require a God, then you're... No, he said whether one exists or not. Dipshit. And this is like the third or fourth time. Then he's like, well, I'm going to school for philosophy. And I'm like, I don't care. You're fucking it up. And the entire room's against him, and he's like, well, I don't know why you guys are dogpiling on me. I'm like, dude, when the entire fucking...
one-way douchebag.
So I say to him, when everyone in the room is telling you wrong, you might be wrong. And he responds to that by saying, well, that's an argument ad populum. I'm like, what?
Well, actually, that sort of is an argument ad populum, but...
No, not when you're saying when everyone is saying you're wrong, you might be wrong.
Oh, might be, yeah. Not
Keyword
are
might.
wrong, but might be.
Keyword might. See the guy's basically jumping to the conclusion that they were on board with this one-way street bullshit without realizing that it's in fact a two-way street. Hence they either or in the fucking sentence.
Well, it's like you have to see those keywords every now and then because every time someone misses those keywords in a sentence, they're always...
Enunciate.
People pointed out these keywords to him like 5 times, and he's like, well, let me go back and review the video to get the quote. So he reviews the video and gets the quote. And the quote was actually more... It was actually more of a non-fallacy than we had all remembered it as. Because he said, whether there's a God or not, it's like it could be this way whether there's a God or not. I mean, it was very plain. It wasn't like he certainly wasn't implying that, and he certainly, he says a quote, and it's like, no, that is clearly not the fallacy you are looking for.
So basically, not only he succeeded in fucking it up more so.
But, also, and this is like the third time we've had this kind of thing with him. There was one point that we had Sugar, I think it was, in a hangout, and she was talking like, if it was one of these things like, if we keep letting things going with the schools, and let these kind of laws through, what might be next? And threw a couple of things out there. But she did not say, this will lead to that. And he's slippery slope fallacy. And we're like, no, dude. She said, what might be next if we let this law come in? She didn't say, if we let this in, then this will happen. That's the slippery slope fallacy.
The issue with Seamus is that
predicting an outcome as opposed to saying, what else? What might be opening the door to?
He's a knee jerker, and he latches on certain words, and it's hard to kind of pull him back when he starts to knee jerk, and he does it hard. Really, really hard. That knee jerk is ridiculous, and so it ends up kicking him in the ass when it happens.
Well, like Diamond Hard.
Well, he said that I was in quote unquote the religion of smoking just because I pointed out that the site that he was using to go after smokers.
We're in Zoom now, not Jamos, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
blanked out for a moment. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't know you switched from Kiz. Sorry. Yeah, those were his words. And actually, there's a link to the whole conversation. But yeah, sorry. Miss that you switched to Sheamus.
It's okay, but moving on from the Kiz thing, because in my opinion, Kiz is just a guy that argues from emotion all the fucking time, and
Yep.
quite honestly, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, he's a child.
So that's my thing. You argue from emotion. I tend not to give a shit. I made a response video to Kazoom. Realized it was a fucking bad idea because I'm giving him exactly what he wants. So I went ahead and took down the video. He can fucking have the last word. I don't care.
Well, I'm going to cut in for a second here because, as a generality, I like his. But at the same point, he and Sheamus have one thing in common, which is that when they latch on to a certain argument, they have a hard time seeing what somebody's saying.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, I like his too, but just can't stand him because of that.
Yeah, I don't like his. I'm just gonna say it. Maybe a few weeks ago I would have said I liked him. Nope, don't like him anymore.
The thing is, usually when Kiz is making these arguments, his heart's at least in the right place, and I'll give him credit on that.
Yes.
Sheamus, I can't say that about. So,
The only thing I've
Sheamus'
seen-
heart is in Jesus, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen out of Sheamus is a lot of face palming and headaches.
I've really only talked to Sheamus like one time, and the time I did talk to him, he was just being a complete condescending prick.
I mean, we were in situations where he'll start saying something wrong, and immediately people are like, no, wait, that's not right. And then he's like, let me talk. It's like, dude, you already were wrong in the first 5 words. Why should we let you continue making an incorrect statement? And then he'll have a temper tantrum, and you give him the mic, and then when people cut into interrupt him again, I saw one case where somebody was like, no, wait, let me correct you on one little point here. And he's just like, no, blah, blah, blah. I mean, literally banging on his keyboard and yelling about, having a little hissy fit. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Get off the internet.
Explodes. It's like a dynamite with a it's like a revolving door of dynamite. So it's like he will fucking explode, given the slightest fucking spark. And quite honestly, I just don't feel like talking to a guy that does that. Now, keep in mind, I'm an asshole. I fucking admit this, but at least I can be like, whoa, I'm bad, but I'm not that bad.
Well, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, okay, he wants us to sit there and let him finish building his bullshit straw man, or his argument that clearly doesn't even address the fucking question. And if you interrupt him partway through, man, it's like, shut up. Could be worse. Could be Neffy. I might have kicked Neffy out of the Hangout the other day. I'm not sure. I thought I clicked mute, but I might have kicked him.
Nephilim, I swear to God, if you ever look through any Nephilim free hangout and find any clip of time, it's like he's speaking like 95% of the time. And like that 5% of that time when someone else is trying to talk, immediately interrupted. But
He's
God
talking over them and insisting that they're interrupting him, yeah.
I know, but that's it's almost like he knows he's creating a double standard for himself and he just doesn't care.
It basically, the only reason that he has those hangouts is to hear himself talk, which is fine, but at least be fucking honest about it.
There's a great
that way I will know not to go in your fucking hangouts, which I don't anyway, but
Yeah. There's a great soundbite from Live Life Joe, one of the shows that they had Neffy in, and he was talking to DPR was going after him, of course, and Neffy's going on for like 5 minutes, and then DPR tries to get a word in, and he says, "You cut me off. You always cut me off." His standard spiel, and then say, "Okay, continue then." Oh, well, I was done.
Yeah.
Let Neffy finish.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was just so fucking.
Prudent, hey, you didn't answer my question.
Oh, I forget what was the question.
I said, what does Black Lives Matter mean?
Oh.
Well, that's kind of the answer seems like it would be very vague. I mean, it can mean whatever you want it to mean.
Really?
Black Lives Matter. I think this it's self-explanatory, is it not?
It would be for most folks, but
I mean, for fuck's sake, it says it in the fucking title. Black Lives Matter. Gee, I wonder what the fuck that means.
I'm curious as to how people are coming to these really strange conclusions when it would seem blatantly honest. But I do have a more, I guess, poignant question: is have you actually just went to the website?
Oh, I've never been to the website. No, I just
Wait, are you
just
asking
prove it.
Pruden or Rick?
explanatory.
Oh.
No, again, I really wasn't.
Wait, stop.
Go there.
Wait, hold on. You have no clue you've been in a conversation with folks for the last 3 days?
Can I explain? I wasn't going after I wasn't even going after the leadership of the organization. I've mostly been pointing out that the mistakes, the statistical errors, and the logical fallacies made by Matthew Cook, a filmmaker who made a video in support of the Black Lives Matter people. I haven't been going after necessarily the organization, just him and his video. Just Matthew Cook.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
So there's not been an exchange between you and another YouTuber about Black Lives Matter and the goals?
What do you mean?
You haven't been talking to Eve for the last few days?
Oh, yeah, that.
Oh.
I was not talking about those protesters specifically, the ones who were trying to get. Because my issue is this, and maybe I may have made a couple of assertions. I admit that.
Oh, you made a lot. I've been
okay, think of it like this. My issue with a lot of protesters who there's a lot of people out there like they'll do something like to get attention, and like when you're in the world of social media and 24-hour news outlets, everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame. Like I think that's a bit of a generalized statement, but I think that's just that's something I think some of us would agree on. Like, is it not? Like, would you agree at least that a good chunk of these people who go out interrupting politicians, like some of them might just be trying to get attention for themselves?
No, they want. I wouldn't say attention. They want the view of authority from others. They want to see that they have a value of importance. It's totally about them, but I don't think it's wanting their 15 minutes. It's a little deeper. That's my opinion.
I still feel like there's still a large amount of themselves being somewhat ego-driven. That's kind of why.
Well, they're totally ego-driven. It's self-righteousness.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't think anyone's denying that there's a certain aspect of self being promoted within whatever ideology that they have, but of course that ideology is motivated by some external goal that they seek. So, but continue.
Okay. I'm not saying like they're not. I'm not trying to say like they're completely disingenuous about like what they say their goals are, but I do think that there's probably more to why they're doing what they're doing than they're probably letting on. That's the main point I guess I'm trying to get across.
Well, that's fine. I mean, the people can have ulterior motives. I'm not going to dispute that at all. But you're making this assertion when you honestly don't know that much about them nor the organization that they claim to be a part of. Don't you think that's a bit remiss on your part?
Perhaps. I even sort of said to Eve, and I'll grant her that she kind of was good to sort of get me to admit this, but I said a couple of those things to sort of goad her into an argument, and that might seem like, why would you do that? But it's like, come on, like everybody goads one another into an argument on here at some point. That's forgivable.
Yeah, but then, she would copy and paste them and showed them to me, and then, yeah.
Prudent, if you were here in like 2012, those things would have been acceptable, but now I think it's a little different.
Yeah, because that's the whole point. Like Eve kind of got a little mad at me when I said like, "Oh yeah, I goaded you." It's like, "Oh, that's a good show of integrity on your part," and I'm just like, "Oh come on!" Like I've seen you do that several times. Like don't show off your moral superiority.
It just seems like you're making an excuse now that you saw how frivolous the arguments you were making. That's what it seems like on the other side. I mean, you could say, sure, you're just wanting to go into a conversation, but from the outside looking in, it just looks like really shitty arguments.
Well, yeah, my main point, though, was to get... My main point I really wanted to get across, Steve, was to say, well, look, these BLM people who kind of came in at the end of a Jeb Bush rally and then tried to interrupt everything, and I just said, well, come on, like, you kind of look like an asshole if you do that. Like, I get it.
Wait, Prudence. Are you saying that Black Lives Matter is now an acronym BLM?
Oh God, is that
Hang on just a
You
second.
know these BLM people.
Well, whatever. Let's not let this go completely off the rail, please.
All right.
Yeah, but my main point.
Hang on for 1 second though. Now the thing is, if they were interrupting Jeb Bush because some of his policies they felt were somewhat, opposed to people of their ethnicity or opposed to the movement to try and get equal treatment for black people by the police departments and stop racial profiling and these kind of things, I'd be fine with that. But Bernie Sanders, on the other hand, has been supportive of black communities from pretty much fucking day one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why it was a big deal that they interrupted him, because we're talking about somebody that had been fighting for equal rights his whole political career.
Yeah, the issue is that what a lot of people are kind of failing to understand is that he has been supportive, but then again, so has Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
And you kind of see what they're doing now. And so allowing someone to kind of ride on their previous accolades and giving someone a pass, you would have to apply that to everybody. The issue is that when Sanders is making certain proclamations concerning his economic plans, they don't necessarily, they didn't, now they are, and he's actually been very proactive about it now, is that he did not address the specific disparities that exist. So saying that we're going to ensure individuals, especially at low income, receive proper education, well, you have to also address the school to prison pipeline in order to address the specific disparity that exists within that. And now Sanders has jumped on that. And he actually, if you go to his website, which I kind of do often, is if you look on his website, he has a section and a list of things that he is going to do or proposes to do in order to address these specific disparities. And I think that was actually really good on his part, instead of just,
I think it was too, but the thing is that those papers and all that kind of stuff, but the way that they were done, there's a lot of people saying, well, he didn't do this until we blah, 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 but these, for most of it, were things that were already in place. This didn't take him time and consideration to go over and write up. These were put up pretty much, the next fucking morning?
Yeah, and that's what kind of leads me to believe that some of this may be smoke and mirrors, because almost the next day he hired a Black Lives Matter freaking activist and put her on the staff, and then that stuff showed up. I don't think it would seem like something like that would kind of come up. It would take some time to work up, but it seemed like, and this is just my perspective, is that it seemed like it was overnight, and things changed like that.
It could also be that since there was more of a push in that direction, he felt more comfortable releasing things that he already had in place, and that's kind of how it struck me. But it might have been the timing of it. He might have been concerned about the response of some people to that right now with the current political climate as well.
Yeah, and that's something to take into account. But there's definitely an internal struggle. I can show you pages upon pages of people going back and forth whether these ladies should have done what they have done, and there's no clear consensus on any side on that issue. And I'm telling you, it's bad.
Well, it's a KM fucking West.
Well, actually, the thing is, I'll say I don't think they should have. Now, that's not to say that nobody should have. But considering they take the mic away from the speaker, moment of silence, and then the bitching about having to speak to these white supremacist liberal assholes or whatever the hell she said, I'm like, really? You're trying to speak for Black Lives Matters and being racist up there on the stage? Fuck you.
Yeah, and that's something of a kind of a tertiary issue too, is that people are such as I'll put myself out there, is like, okay, if you were going to take this time and opportunity to address an issue and, I guess supposedly point out Sanders' inability to address these disparities, the moment of silence really to me wasn't necessary. I'm not sentimental like that, but there are a number of ways that could have went. If I was up there, The
thing is, even if they insisted on a moment of silence and weren't then immediately turning around and acting kind of like anti-white, calling all people that are white white supremacists and being racist up
Basically
there in
cunts.
front of them, that's a problem, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you can
If you're
address
going to be speaking for a major political movement, you need to have some degree of fucking decorum.
And respect. And I want to throw this out too. Them doing that to anybody else, they would have had their asses grabbed, thrown down, and taken away. Bernie Sanders let them continue. His body language and his decisions on how he handled that, I think, speaks volumes of his character, which I think puts a lot more weight into, as Shadow said, it was already on the burner. It just had to be pushed because of this, because as the political spectrum, the circus is right now, they'd use it.
And see, and what you just said, he allowed them to do that, and he just kind of sat back. To me, that almost seems like he was expecting it.
No.
And that's just me personally, and it's like I may have been hanging out with Theus too often. But
Wait. I'm going to actually add a supporting argument to drag here now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't until after that event and all the hubbub and people flipping out over, oh my gosh, this happened, that he was able to beat out Hilldog in polls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually ahead of Hillary in polls. As publicity stunts go,
yeah.
If that was on some levels a publicity stunt, fucking epic win for him.
Well,
Yeah, even if it wasn't, he still handled it like it was.
Yeah.
So
He got the bump from it. But one thing that I noticed throughout his posture was hands in front covering the ghoulies, the family jewels. And that is a macro expression of being protective. I really don't think that was a planned thing. Hey, Van, driving home, are you?
Actually, right to the grocery store.
Wanna, if I can kind of flip a 180 here, Prudent, what the actual fuck are you thinking arguing with Dougie?
I don't know.
Seriously.
Wait,
the fucking guy is a waste of oxygen, you know? I mean...
Wait, hang on. No. I'm going to say something in somewhat in favor of arguing with Dougie. I actually had forgotten to block him under this particular ID, and I did spend about 3-4 hours arguing with him. I kind of thought it was funny for a little bit, and then eventually I got bored and blocked him. But
oh, God.
I mean, for sport, it can be amusing.
He has to be the single most blocked person on G+.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fucker doesn't know the difference between self-preservation and fascism, for fuck's sake. I mean, when you don't know the difference of something so clearly fucking different, you are a fucktard, and not a retard, a fucktard, and fucktards are completely responsible for their own fucktarditude. And
The only thing I will say in his defense is he does appear to have some form of brain damage.
yeah, pretty
Okay,
much.
to be clear, we're talking about Douglas, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's, yeah.
okay, I was wondering. Okay.
Can I
Yeah,
just
basically a fucktard of incredible magnitude. And here's the thing: that guy is fucking ignorant. Prudent, don't waste your fucking time because you're gonna end up bashing your face against your desk, and then you're gonna have to buy a new desk, and that shit ain't cheap. Don't fucking do it.
Okay.
Me and Redliner are in concurrence, and that doesn't happen very often.
I just want to say back to the whole Bernie Sanders thing. Like, I understand like he's a popular candidate in the more liberal circles, but here's what I think is just the sad reality people are going to have to face. I just don't think there's any possible way he could win, and for two reasons. One, yeah, he might be competing with Hillary right now in the polls, but it's early. I mean, remember the last time in the GOP primaries, there was a time when people like Michelle Bachmann and Herman Cain led the polls. You know, leading the early polling really doesn't say anything. And I kind of get a little...
Wait. That whole thing with those particular people leading at different times and switching from one to the next, that's almost fucking unheard of in the political race. And a lot of that was due to the intervention of Fox News promoting the crap out of one candidate after the next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not a fair metric. Now, in the case of Bernie, I mean, he started really small and it keeps snowballing. I mean, this is the snowball getting bigger, rolling downhill.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to win over the conservative voters, and he's certainly not going to be able to win over the independent voters.
He's definitely not going to win over the conservative. However, the independent-minded voters,
he's not
I
going
can tell you, speaking as an independent-minded voter, he's got my interest just because he's speaking just such the right words.
Here's why he.
Or-
I don't know. We always say like, okay, he can appeal to some people, but the fact is this:
Hang on. With the rhetoric that's coming out from the GOP right now, I'll tell you groups of conservatives that are likely to vote for Bernie. Black, Hispanic, right there. As well as, of course, you have your independents, too.
No, I think Hispanic voters might
Vote for Trump?
No, the conservative Hispanics will probably fall under Jeb Bush because Jeb Bush actually has a pretty soft immigration policy. So does Rand Paul.
But Jeb Bush is miles behind Trump. Trump's going to end up being their boy.
No, he won't. Again,
I tend to not think Trump will be their boy. I think right now he's getting the shock value.
Well, the thing is they don't go with Trump, considering he's leading with the polls right now, and if he goes independent, the Republicans won't have a fucking chance in hell of winning.
Well, as a person that actually doesn't give a shit about Trump or any of these other motherfuckers for that matter, I'm going to say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, Redline.
Redline, get the fuck out.
GTFO.
Yeah, I got to work in the morning. It's nice to talking, you know.
Thanks later, Drag.
Good to have you, Drag. Take care, man.
See you.
But
Man, I tell y'all, I walk into the room.
Yeah, but here's the fact that people simply don't like to bring up. The majority of like the independent voters that we do have in the country, they lean to the right. They lean conservative.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Prudent. You also have to identify that.
Here's something you gotta know there. You gotta know there, Prudent, is independent voters on some things lean right, on other things lean left, on other things don't give a fuck.
They lean. They tend to lean right on economic policy, and economic policy is kind of the most important issue in the election.
Not as far as the GOP is concerned. The GOP has gotten extraordinarily all about the other end.
What are the states that are the key states that they need to worry about?
Florida, and this is why I think This is why I think it works in Jeb Bush's favor. Former governor of Florida, he's got the advantage to win Florida.
Florida is not the only state we need to deal with. Second off,
it's the most important state.
Florida with Jeb.
Florida is the most important state, though. Like that's
No, it's not.
I thought Iowa or Ohio or one of those.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, if we're going to the very end, you got to look at the number of votes they get in the electoral college. But if you're just looking at the primaries, I mean, then it gets a little bit more complex. You start New Hampshire, Iowa,
Vermont. Iowa, it does tend towards more conservative views, but New Hampshire, Vermont, etc., on the other hand, are very liberal.
No, New Hampshire's actually kind of. It's become slightly more. It's like that one slightly conservative state in the Northeast.
No, not really. No, they're only conservative. They're only conservative on like 2 fucking issues, man.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, come on, like, but I mean, New Hampshire would be considered conservative compared to Massachusetts or Rhode Island.
Not really.
They've elected a couple of Republican senators or Republican congressmen. I think one of them.
Do you know how many have been elected in Massachusetts?
Not very many.
They've more than a couple.
Well, they voted in Scott Brown, and then didn't Scott Brown lose the next election afterwards?
Yeah, you want to know why? Because Massachusetts is fickle as fuck. You get in, you put in a few policies, they say, fuck you, get this bum out of here. It's hard to maintain, it's hard to run Massachusetts for more than a very short period of time. Because our voters are very fickle. Getting a second term there is, as the governor, is hard as fuck, man.
13. Would you say that all the voters there are just a bunch of massholes?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, I'm giving you -5 points for the pun.
That was a good pun, and you know it.
Actually,
a good pun?
Wait. Actually, it's a very bad pun because it's one that's been overused by the residents of Massachusetts as well as just about everyone else in the fucking country.
Is there such a thing as a good pun?
This is not fucking original. This is old, boring ass shit. So don't, and it's far from original to you, Prudence. It's just boring old crap.
I'm seeing Prudent in his smoking jacket at the library, and him with like a glass of scotch, trying to act like one of those guys. Doesn't work. Doesn't look very good.
Jordy, you don't take a glass of scotch to a library.
What about your personal library?
Yeah, you take a bottle of rum.
That's the gentleman's club.
Well,
no private
in the
library.
study.
Well,
yeah, you're in the study.
With the pipe, Major Kushner, whatever his name was.
Like I said, I still hold that I'll even go out on a leg here. If Bernie Sanders hypothetically were to win the Democratic nomination, I think the general election would be a landslide loss for him. It would be probably just as bad. It would be akin to George McGovern and Walter Mondale's losses.
You know what would be epic, truly epic for the U.S. is if Bernie ran as an independent and he won it.
Well, he is an independent. That's the he
runs.
Yes,
but not under any political party.
Oh, Euless again, is it, man?
Yeah.
I don't. The problem with running as an independent is that you don't really have a party. You don't really have the central planning of a party to help you out. Like
yeah,
at least
all the talking
that's
points
both.
for you.
That's both a plus and a minus. The biggest problem with it is you don't have the money.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Remember,
on the other hand, there is no one telling you what your policies must be.
That's why I say it's both a plus and a minus on that front. So it kind of washes out.
And even the founding fathers said, "Be careful of political parties because of that corrupting possibility."
Yeah, George Washington is face palming in his grave.
Oh, he'd come out and probably shoot
Adams
in the head.
Adams wasn't a fan of them, but Jefferson was a fan of parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adams was convinced it would start political parties would start an aristocracy.
But that's
what's happening.
Yeah, from what I know, Washington I don't think was even affiliated with the party. Adams and Jefferson were considered Democratic Republicans. It was sort of it was a different party from a different time that had different issues. And then you had the Whigs, and then eventually you had the Lincoln-style Republicans, and then the whole Republicans.
Then you have the time period of Reagan when you had Reagan and Carter and Reagan all running at the same time. And during that time period, we had a number of wonderful little stupid-ass fucking things that went down in terms of like Iran-Contra affair and all this other crap. But more importantly, it was after Reagan got into office that he declared that only the Democrats and Republicans would actually be featured and that the media didn't have to cover all parties equally anymore. He fucked the system pretty good. It's as two-party system as it is now because they made it that way. They put in law. They basically put in regulations so that they wouldn't waste time on these darn independents.
Well, it's been since 1896 where we've had the two-party system like this. I mean, that was the whole McKinley, William Jennings Bryan election.
Reagan gave Reagan and Carter a pretty good run, relatively speaking. I mean, he ended up carrying that many states, but he really fucked over both of them.
Wait, who are we talking about? Who's Reagan?
Reagan, not Ronald Reagan, but Reagan. It was Carter, Reagan, and Reagan.
Donald Reagan?
I don't remember what the first name was.
I mean, because Donald Reagan was his chief of staff.
I just remember that the election cycle with the three of them because the Reagan thing was a fucking nightmare.
The one I remember the most was Perot. Bush, Clinton, and Perot.
No, this was well before that, the Reagan thing. Oh, my God,
that was well before my time.
Yeah, I was born in 71, so.
Yeah, I remember that.
Reagan isn't when I was born.
Yeah, Donald Reagan died of Republican.
That's not me.
What fan just turned on there, man?
That's not me.
I know, it's different.
Was it me? Did I say something?
It sounded like you have a fan that just turned on your mic. I thought I saw the spike of volume on from you. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
I think all I said it was.
No, it was just background noise.
When I was 17, it was a really good year.
Okay, you're not banned from singing.
Cool. I do realize my singing is shit.
But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the thing, though, is claiming that Bernie can't possibly win because you don't think that the independents will vote for him? That's bizarre.
Well, and besides which, he's not running as an independent. He's running on the Democratic ticket.
Yeah.
And even as of now, he caucuses with Democrats.
Yeah. And I think the Democratic Party knows that there's a hell of a lot of people that hate Hillary. A lot of the people that could go either way with their voting, just whether it be rational or irrational, like in the case of my father. My father was absolutely irrational. There's hatred for Hillary. But there's a lot of people that really don't like her.
I really do not.
Well, I think all the Occupy Wall Street people will be backing Bernie.
Yeah.
First woman with a chance to win the presidency.
I know.
And I, as a woman, am like, nah, fuck that bitch. Like,
she just raises my hackles so much.
Well, it could be worse. Could be Tipper Gore.
Ugh.
Oh, God. No, Hillary raises my hackles more.
Really?
Yeah. Hillary raises my hackles like no one I can think of.
She raises your hackles worse than let's fucking censor the crap out of everything?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually,
because she actually wants political office.
Heathens, I might actually still have a Tipper sticker around here somewhere.
Never know.
Besides which, Tipper Gore isn't that smart. Dee Snider put her in her fucking place.
Yeah.
Although that's kind of a backhanded insult to Dee Snider. He's not that dumb.
Well,
I mean, we're all the people that are tired of
push very hard, you know.
I mean, but Hillary's like a fucking monolith of the establishment.
Yeah, that's one of the things that raises my hackles with her. Is she is a beltway politician.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there are a lot of independents that are very anti-establishment.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I think Bernie's going to really support from. He is the strongest. In many ways, he's not an extremely liberal candidate. He's very centrist on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we haven't had a strong centrist candidate in a long time. The last one, McCain, was a centrist before he started running for president.
Well, I was going to say the last time we actually had a centrist. Well, wait a minute. You know, hang on though. It's gotten to the point that if you're centrist, you're called a liberal, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, but there's
It's
more.
shifted that fucking far to the right, hasn't it?
I don't know. Once we finally get into Bernie's economic policy and we see how
All right, I'm going to bed.
we see how very far to the left some of his ideas are, that's not going to resonate
Hold on,
so
hold
well.
on a second, Prudence. Hold on. He's a social capitalist. Okay. That's not really that far left.
No. It's the fact that he's not afraid of the word socialism.
Yeah.
The deal with him being called so far left is because the Republican Party has gotten so far right.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten so far right. The Republican Party's gotten so far right that Reagan couldn't be elected now.
Yes.
That's a load of shit. I'm sorry.
No.
Completely fucking true.
I've said this so many times, and it angers me every time I hear this. Like this notion that Ronald.
Would you like
Reagan,
us to back it up?
Sorry. But like, this is one of the things that hits me. Like this notion that Ronald Reagan was too liberal for today's Tea Party members. That's a load of shit.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He had the largest immigration amnesty ever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm saying like Reagan probably is support. Like I'm saying that I think Reagan would be like a Tea Party member if he had been around today.
No, he would not.
No.
He had the largest immigration amnesty ever.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg, man.
He raised taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, on
he raised taxes damn near every fucking year.
Yeah,
he also put in trickle down, which damn near bankrupted our fucking country.
That's the whole point. Like this whole trickle down notion is popular with the Tea Party crowds. That's why.
That's one of the things that's popular. Unfortunately, he also raised taxes. He raised our national debt by more
than anyone.
However,
percentage-wise, I think FDR was still ahead of him percentage-wise.
Well, yeah, but that's because he raised a lot of the funds going into foreign policy. He wanted to make a lot of cuts.
Military.
He wanted to make a lot of extra cuts to welfare, but the Senate Democrats stopped him from doing that.
Not exactly. No.
No, that's pretty much how I was.
Let me tell you this way. Let me tell you this way that might explain it to you. Before he was president, he was a 2-term, I believe, governor of California.
Yep.
You cannot be an arch conservative and make it to the governorship of California.
But it doesn't change the fact that his policies may have maybe gotten a little further to the right once he became president.
Wait. Van, do you recall what his what his stance was on things like abortion?
He was a technical pro-choice guy.
Mhm.
He
Yep.
did not believe abortion was right. However, he did not think it would be morally correct to make it illegal.
Yep, and he also wanted to instate school prayer in schools. So, I mean, come on.
I think you're nitpicking.
What does that have to do with anything? He was a faith head.
That-
Of course, his wife also went and spoke to a psychic.
And they had an astrologist on staff.
Yeah.
They also, oh god, there's a few more things. They're not all coming up right now.
But no, they would
well-
not have been keepers. Absolutely fucking not.
I don't know. I
If you
think
look
Reagan-
at the policies that he put in, he was nowhere near as extreme right as these people try to make him out to be.
Yeah, by far. That's one of the things I have against the Tea Party Republicans right now is they are so fucking extremist on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're right about Reagan. Like Reagan was about
No, dude, they tried to.
as he was a president, as far as he's a president. could be.
Prudent, hang on. What we've been trying to get through to you is what these people are doing is basically saying, Reagan would approve of this, Reagan would approve of that, in the same way the Christians claim that Jesus would approve of this and that, regardless of it contradicting what's in the Bible. It's that same kind of fucking thing, man.
It's a thing of history, man. Like you can look up more through this, and I'm telling you, Reagan was a very conservative guy. Okay, like that. I don't think there's really any denying that he was about as conservative as you could possibly get as a president. Like
No.
that's kind of fact.
No, Bush was a lot more conservative.
Oh, that's 41 or 43.
Either, really. More so the last, more Junior.
Reagan very much so was conservative for his time.
And to be fair, like
It's just the bar has moved so far to the right compared to that.
well, technically by all
Are moving to the right something to do with Dixiecrats?
well, yes,
A
by all
little bit.
considerations, by all considerations, like I consider myself actually conservative, but I sort of draw the line somewhere.
Well, I've talked to you quite a bit. You're conservative in the same way that I was a conservative.
What are you beating on your microphone, Van?
Van, we're kind of losing you here.
I think I'm going to end up losing y'all. I'm about to walk into the grocery store, but
Okay.
before I walk in, I'll say this. You're a conservative the same way I was a conservative when I was a late teen and early 20s.
Yeah, me too.
I think you're a bit of a contrarian.
Maybe.
You see, a lot of the people that are around you are saying they're this, but if you look at your individual views, I think on balance, having talked to you on balance, you're a much more centrist and liberal-minded than you might be willing to give yourself credit for.
Well, I used to be like pretty liberal, and I sort of became more sympathetic to some libertarian and conservative ideas sort of recently. So I would consider myself. I mean, I sort of become like slightly more conservative, I guess, as the months go by. But I would say like I do draw the line like at some aspects. Like there comes the point where I do support a lot of privatization, but there are some things that are probably best not privatized.
Well, what I'm actually a big fan of privatization with regulation. I think regulation is actually fairly important.
Prudent, I hope you at least haven't bought into this bullshit claim that the Berlin Wall came down because of Reagan.
No, technically, technically the wall came down while Bush was president. Although I'm not going to say that he didn't have some things to do with it, but it was a concentrated effort. I mean, communism came down because of a concentrated efforts of presidents as they went by. I think Truman.
No. That has nothing to do with the Berlin Wall, Prudent.
All right. I don't think Reagan was the direct cause of the Berlin Wall falling down.
Are you serious?
I said I don't think he was.
Oh, you don't think? Okay, don't. I didn't hear the word don't. Never mind.
I mean, maybe he played a little bit of a part of it, but probably not as big of a part as we want to say he did.
No, he didn't. Actually, Germany itself was actually the biggest cause. Quite honestly, the debt of one side was bought by the other. It was going to come down regardless of politics. The time was just right.
Yeah.
But from both the U.S. and Russia, what happens is we find out the wall's fucking coming down. Our politicians go down there to make a big fucking show so they can claim some of the credit.
There's always a few things people tend, we sort of view things through history, and they're not always the way that we like to think they are. Like, even the other thing that Reagan tends to get a little too much credit for is, like, because on his first inauguration day, that was the day that the prisoners in Iran were released. And
why? Wait. Why were they released on that day, Prudent? Answer me this trivia question.
They were released on that. Carter even let Reagan know before the inauguration.
No. Why were they going to be released on that day? Why?
To make Reagan look good, I guess.
Yes, and you want to know why Iran agreed to release him on that day to make Reagan look good? Because Jimmy Carter and the deal that he had brokered with them months earlier to give them some replacement parts and wheels for their planes and their jets and this kind of crap. The GOP went in there and said, well, if you wait until our guy gets into office before releasing the prisoners, we'll give you weapons. It's called the Iran-Contra affair. Look it up.
Oh, I know quite a bit about.
And that's where the weapons that ISIS uses came from, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a direct result of that.
Yeah.
And the Iraq War.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, you have to understand.
We gave them weapons.
Yeah, we supported Iraq at that time. We were supporting Saddam Hussein, and
no, we weren't supporting Iraq. This was in exchange for the release of prisoners, and Carter had already sent in a helicopter mission, special ops mission, to try and get the prisoners out, and that helicopter was shot down. His attempt to remove them that way failed, so he said, "Screw it, I'll just make a deal with them." But he told Iran straight up, "I will not give you fucking weapons, but we'll give you some stuff so you can do maintenance on your planes. That's it." And then the GOP went in and said, if you wait for our guy, we'll give you guns, we'll give you weapons, we'll give you this nice new shiny missile system and all the missiles you need.
It's good.
I do have to say one thing. Like the claim that we were not supporting Iraq in the 80s, the reason, just explain this, Iran and Iraq were at war with each other around that time, and Iran, was run by the fucking theocrats, and Iraq run by thugs, but at least they were the secular thugs. That was sort of our understanding at the time, and we figured, well, as long as they're not just a bunch of Islamic nut jobs, we can support them. That turned out to not work out so well for us 20 years later down the road.
Well, there's a lot more to it than that. Not to mention the fact that it was during Reagan's watch that DuPont was directed to sell chemical weapons to Iraq.
And the thing is prudent. Even though they may be Muslim, what did you say? Fanatics, extremists, thugs, right. You have to remember, America has its Christian extremist thugs.
But that's not necessarily here or there, but it's more a matter of how they were seen at the day. But, I mean, if we had a president now that was making deals with these kind of countries, would you be calling them conservative? Do you think they'd be able to get into fucking office? Do you think that an offense like that wouldn't get them impeached? For that matter, he also raised the, as was said earlier, the national debt skyrocketed under administration. He raised taxes 11 fucking times. Of course, there's the illegal giving weapons to Iran, negotiating with terrorists, secretly sold Iran to arms in exchange for American hostages and money's. Let's see what else we have here. Reagan pulled American troops out of Lebanon, deployed an American peacekeeping force. Oh, Lebanon, incidentally, that was a big fucking clusterfuck. The peacekeeping envoy sent to Beirut, which involved a lot of Americans in the street being murdered, incidentally, because we weren't wanted there. 241 U.S. service members were killed in a bombing ordered by Hezbollah. Let's see. At the moment that bombing went, he ran for the hills and pulled out completely. Oh no, they bombed us. Let's pull all our troops out and bring them home. Oh, anyone fucking doing that today? Yeah, right. The complete amnesty program that he put in '82 for Yeah, that was a big thing. If I remember correctly, wasn't there like a whole fucking football stadium full of people that he brought in? If I recall correctly, I don't know. Do you think he's a good enough conservative for them now? I mean, really, a lot of so many of the policies that he put in would have the modern day conservatives going apeshit.
In many ways, he was a populist.
But if he was a populist, usually, well, that sort of works well with the Tea Party folks. They tend to be populist as well.
No,
Anything but. No.
There are different factions of them.
The Tea Party isn't about the populist thing. They're actually very pro-corporate, although they claim to be anti-corporate. The Koch brothers has been pulling the Tea Party strings for years at this point.
Let me jump in here and toss this out. The Tea Party started off as a fairly populist group. It started off.
They started off as a fairly populist group, but you just faded out. We're hearing the best of backing up. You might need to wait a few. Yeah, let's give Van a moment. Yeah, still not hearing you over the best backing up. The thing is, well, since we can't hear Van for the moment, something to keep in mind is that the core behind Occupy and the core behind the Tea Party were very similar initially, but they diverged broadly. But the whole notion of the banks having too much power and this kind of stuff was central to both groups initially. And let's give Van 10 more seconds.
Yeah, well, this is always the big. We talk about the bank.
Hold on a second.
The circle, this thing's going up and can't hear them.
Well, I'm inside the building, so I might just be.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I'm always trying to say something. I think he says like his microphone's going out or something. Yeah, he's.
I couldn't tell what the fuck he was saying. I just muted him.
You might need to relog.
I was actually just wanting to say, like, yeah, the whole notion of the banks having too much power, yeah, here's always the funny thing that always hits me every time, and it still pisses me off today. Do you guys remember, like, the 2012 Democratic Convention, and all of, the Democrats went crazy for Bill Clinton's speech? There's a part of me that still is bugged off by that, because the biggest myth is this whole idea that Bill Clinton is a big regulator of banks. He's the one who deregulated them in the first place in '99. By repealing the Glass-Steagall Act.
And why do you think he might have done that?
He had a opportunity, I guess. He had things coming down his throats. Oh my God, that was a bad term to use.
You think he might have been potentially setting up the Republicans because it looked like they were going to win the next one?
Possible.
But then again, talking to an economist, things were already going down that hill before he did that as well.
Well, yeah. Well,
financial trends predicted aren't basically the economy isn't that affected by what the president actually says or does, generally speaking. There are other driving factors behind it. And
yeah, but
our economy started sinking during the tail end of the Clinton administration, which is what the predictions actually showed anyway.
Well, what ended up happening was they lowered the it was easier to get a mortgage at that time because they lowered the interest rates.
Actually, the thing with the interest bubble, that was actually Reagan. Bush rather. Sorry.
No, that was a lot of that. Some of that was done.
The majority of that was Bush administration, almost all.
Oh, I'm sorry. What Clinton did was he lowered the minimum credit rating in order to get a house. I think there were some aspects of Clinton, some aspect of Bush 43. Yeah, lowering.
No, the vast majority of it is Bush because he really drastically changed the requirements to be able to get a loan. I mean, he took the gloves off the banks and said basically loan to whoever the fuck you want. He was operating under the notion that the more people had houses, the better the economy would be. which isn't the case if the people can't afford their fucking mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some of that, I would say that, I don't know. The reason why I say Clinton is a bigger area to blame is because he kind of did throw the first domino down by repealing the Glass-Steagall Act in 1999.
Was that
But
Clinton?
he did not create the housing bubble.
However,
That wasn't what caused the housing bubble, man.
Wait, I think Van's trying to say something.
I don't think Glass-Steagall created the fucking housing bubble.
No.
I would say it was at least a causal factor in the grand scheme of things.
No, that has more to do with Glass-Steagall's more to do with banks being able to gamble with people's fucking money.
They just happened to use the mortgages as a gambling chip.
That was basically how they were able to invest in all those subprime mortgages, right?
No, that's not from Glass-Steagall, man.
You said subprime mortgages, those are the things that are used to gamble with people's money.
Well, you can use them to, in some senses, to gamble with people's money, but the thing is, prior to the regulations that were put into place that allowed them to give these subprime loans, they weren't giving them. There were regulations still in place after the repeal of Glass-Steagall that prevented them from issuing subprime loans.
Yep.
Okay, then.
That was Bush, man. That had nothing to fucking do with Clinton.
He set the stage for it,
but even, setting the stage that it might make it easier for somebody else to later do something, that doesn't excuse the person that fucking did it.
No, exactly.
It's kind of like saying, well, I know I shot my wife, but this guy's the one that sold me the gun.
Yeah.
Well, who's really at fault for shooting the wife? The fuck?
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, what I'm trying to say is, like, yeah, I agree that, George W. Bush probably was a big factor, probably for the most of it, but I'm just saying, like, that doesn't, I think you're sort of, the way that the language is sort of being brought out is that Bill Clinton's less to blame for it. I mean, at least has no blame for it.
Well, he is less to blame for it.
I said no blame. Less to blame, but he still has some blame, not no blame. Which is sort
he
of
has some responsibility. He doesn't have blame. He has blame on allowing banks and investment firms to be able to merge again, which was the problem back in the 20s, which is why Glass-Steagall. That's separate from what Bush did, as Shadow said, which allowed them to put the mortgages in. So blame, yeah, Bush. Clinton, no. Some responsibility, yes, because cogs and wheels, cause and effect.
Now, granted, the Clinton administration and all the cronies associated with that were just as culpable, as far as I'm concerned, for the fucking banking collapse, because that was they knew that was going to happen the moment things got quote-unquote too big to fail. This was known. FDIC officials have been trying to warn the government for years and were being fucking ignored. But Bush gets into office, continues to fucking ignore the same shit, and replaces the head of the FDIC, the head of Social Security, head of almost all the major government departments along those lines. And the new guy they put in charge of the FDIC had almost no fucking experience. He'd been working in a bank for like less than 10 years in a small fucking bank in a relatively small bank in Fort Worth. That's all the guy fucking knew. He was ill-equipped for the job. And then the first thing he does is tell everyone to justify their existence and start shifting them around to departments. So he's taking somebody that had worked in DOE, for example, and say, well, here's what we're going to do is we're going to have you justify your existence with the company, and then we're going to move you to a department that you don't know fuck it all about. You've been doing this job where you've been managing all of the properties, whether it be all the bank-related properties, for 20 fucking years. And we're going to take you out of here and move you to this other department where you don't know fuck it all. And then we're going to move somebody else into your position that doesn't know anything that you've been doing for these last 20 years. That's one of the big problems. So at this point, the FDIC couldn't even effectively do its job, which for anyone who does not know, they close down roughly 2 banks every fucking month. And most of these big banks They would have shut down if they had the manpower to do it, but of course, because we believe in small government, they weren't grossly undermanned to even close mid-sized banks, never mind large. And with the logistics, there was no fucking way they could close down any of these banks that were part of the collapse. Oh, and incidentally, most of the banks that were planning on buying out the banks that fell during the collapse were also on the list of banks predicted to collapse by the FDIC, because they're on the list of banks with incredibly bad banking practices. Our banking system is still massively fucked. The next bank collapse is just around the fucking corner, and it's going to be all these big fucking banks that the FDIC doesn't have the manpower to deal with. And I noticed nobody's dumb enough to argue with me on that one.
And I will add in that if Harper doesn't get out of Canada, then we will go right down along with you this time, because we are starting to have our problems from it.
Yeah, 2 fucking bags a month, man. And this is the thing is, people, I sit there and people are like, oh, well, I want to put my money in the big bank. It's safer. No, it's not. You're better off in a tiny little fucking bank that if there's a problem, they will be shut down and up within 1 fucking hour and running perfectly, and you'll never know that they had to be taken down. You'll never even fucking know it, because this is what the FDIC, they goes in first thing in the morning, hold up their badges, say step away from your machine, they have that bank down and back up and running within an hour. No one ever knows it fucking happened. This is why people have faith in our banking system, or at least had it, is because the FDIC was always there pulling this shit. And what they do is they take all the assets of the bank, they divvy it out to people that had accounts up to a certain amount first, get all the insured people out of the way, and then they give their leftovers to the people that were over that amount, the amount which has now been increased. Now, if we'd let them do that instead of the bank bailout, if we'd let them do their fucking job and maybe hired more people to do it, you would have had more jobs out there. You would have had some billionaires that had all their money in one fucking account would have lost it. Oh, fucking well, don't give a shit. That's their stupidity for having more in an account than the FDIC actually insured. That's their fucking fault. And we should have just forced them to bite the fucking bullet on that. Fuck them.
It's not as simple as that, though. Like a lot.
Yes, it fucking is, dude.
That's simple?
No, because usually there's a lot of rich people who really fucked up, but at the same time, they kind of hold the cards over the rest of the economy because they have businesses, and if those businesses fail, then you're going to have a lot of working class people out of business as well.
Actually, Prudent? No. Here's the thing. Your business assets and your personal assets are 2 different things. For starters, companies have their own accounts, and even then, they shouldn't have all their money in one fucking account that's not actually insured. That's fucking stupid. If these, whether it be, I don't give a shit if it's companies or individuals at this point, if you're not smart enough to actually have proper accounting, you shouldn't be in fucking business. Now, the simple fact of the matter is, they should have done it the way they always did. They should have had the FDIC deal with it. We wouldn't have had this fucking massive financial crisis. We wouldn't have this massive bailout. We wouldn't have had the massive fucking impact on the American economy. Some people wouldn't have got their fucking money. Some of these stupid fucking billionaires that had all their money in one goddamn account might have gone broke. Oh, fucking well. Most of these billionaires aren't employing anyone. They're just sitting on their fucking wealth.
Yep. And they probably squirreled enough away that they wouldn't be broke elsewhere.
Oh no, I might have to bring some of my money back from the Caymans. Oh darn.
It may get taxed a bit. Oh darn.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they could make it back without much sweat off the brow.
But I mean, this is really the thing: is we pretty much bankrupted the country all because of this stupid rhetoric of, oh no, the government's going to take over the banks and we're going to have one national. That's not no. FDIC takes it, they tear it down, they sell off all the fucking assets, and with what they get back from selling those assets, they then give that money to the people that had more than they would normally be insured for. But you deal those fucking assets first. And yes, there are some people that are going to lose a fuck ton of money. But the way that they pay it back is it's like, okay, well, you're only insured for $100,000. These people, this is our list of people that had over 1,000. Okay, let's start giving. Let's see how much we can divide this up. So we can give 10,000 each. Now give that another 20,000 each. Now another 30,000 each, and eventually they all get the same amount of money. So if somebody had a billion in one fucking account, they're going to get the same amount as the person potentially that had 200,000. Oh fucking well, their stupidity. But no, we must protect the billionaires.
Yeah.
Should have just. So yeah, I would have just said it all depends on who. I put it this way, it's all dependent, I guess, on who really is an economic producer. But I mean, like, fuck the bad guy. Like, if it's AIG, then fuck those guys. Like, yeah, I'm all over.
It depends on who's an economic producer.
That's
I got news for you, Prudent. I'm an economic producer. I pay somebody $20 every couple of weeks to mow my lawn. That makes me an economic producer. Thank you very much.
I watch YouTube. I'm an economic producer.
Yeah.
That is such a generic, ambiguous term that it applies to everybody. Sorry, man.
It kind of reminds me of this one guy that went down to the Occupy protesters, and he's bitching them out and going, "I'm a job creator," and they're like, "Oh," and they're like, "Yeah, you make like He's like, "I make $1.2 billion a year, and I'm a job creator." They're like, "Okay, how many people do you employ?" 10. 10. You make $1.2 billion a year, and you're bragging about being a job creator for having 10 fucking employees. Go fuck yourself. Go bankrupt, please.
Yes.
That's just one example.
It's 10 fucking people. That's it. I mean, we're not talking about like Lockheed Martin going out of business.
Yeah.
For jet propulsion.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something like fucking Chrysler, well, as we've seen, the government can bail out that company.
Yep. And successfully, too.
Yes. Yeah. That was actually a boon for the government with the way they structured it. Let's hear from the Iacocca.
Hmm. Do you remember? No, you wouldn't even remember the 7.
Oh, not so well, no.
Chrysler. It was Chrysler that first went down then, wasn't it? Just after.
I'm pretty sure it was, wasn't it?
Early 80s, late 70s.
Yeah, Lee Iacocca fucking saved their ass. He went in front of Congress and said, "You're going to give us money to bail our asses out, and I'm going to tell you why." And they fucking did.
Yeah.
My father had the book.
Man, that was a scary time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But now most American manufacturing's gone overseas anyway.
Yeah, gotta love free trades.
Yeah.
And now there's a TPP coming up.
Oh yeah, and Bernie's against that too. And yay, he's pretty much the only one that's speaking out against it. Well, sorry, Trump is the other one. Funny enough.
Right.
But then again, Trump's wanting to put up the fucking Great Wall of America and put up the Iron Curtain around us. I'm sorry, the Tin Curtain.
They don't call it iron.
Yeah, no, he probably won't call it iron. He'll probably call it platinum. He's a rich douche.
You're going to build the best wall there ever was.
And I'm going to hire my construction people to do it.
They're the best. And I'm rich enough to do it. Whatever.
Yeah, the irony, though, is it'll probably be built by Mexicans.
Oh,
yeah.
Of course it will, because that's the cheap labor. But this is the funny thing is, here's this guy that supposedly that keeps sitting there talking about how he's built his company by constructing all this shit, and then he's talking about wanting to build the wall. I'm like, okay, who are you planning on building the wall? Who are you going to award that no-bid contract to, asshole?
Yeah, but remember, he's going to charge the Mexicans for it.
Oh, for bullshit.
That was one of his. That was one of his first.
I know he said that, but first off, you're not going to be able to negotiate that fucking treaty.
Oh.
For second, they wouldn't be able to afford it anyway.
Yeah. Cuba might send them.
Yeah.
It's about to be invaded by Americans.
Yeah, open up Cuba, then all of a sudden we have that cigar boom.
Kizzy heads will explode when he realizes that. I want to watch that. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, just.
Where's Hezzy? I expected him by now.
He must have gone to bed. I don't know. I don't.
Turns that I gave him the right invite. I don't fucking know. There we go. Just double checking on that. Well, we've had a pretty good talk, and I think we're probably winding down anyway, and barring Heavy showing up. If he does, because I just sent out the invite now, let him sit around for a couple. But
Okay, I've made it out of the grocery store. Am I coming through better now?
I hear the card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All we can hear is a backup beeper, and he's not on Skype.
No,
So.
backup beeper is gone, but I hear.
Yeah, I
dropping
made it
card
outside the building, and I've stopped moving the card.
well, get to your car, damn it. Oh, wait, no, I hear keys. Never mind, you're at your
I'm here.
car.
Yeah. There's the trouble.
Remember
Okay.
to put your groceries
What I was
in
going to say a
the car.
minute ago was talking about the tea
Remember to
party.
put the groceries in the car first. Hang on.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
I can do it quietly. What I was saying earlier about the Tea Party started as a populist movement. It started as a grassroots movement. It was very shortly after it was started hijacked by the Kochs, by these ultra-rich, ultra-conservative
The modern Tea Party
movements.
party has been bought and paid for.
Yes, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the original founding of the Tea Party. I mean, they're not even apples and oranges. They're apples and IBMs.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the Tea Party and you think about the original root founding of it, I can kind of get behind the Tea Party as it was originally founded. I would disagree with him on a lot of points, but I can kind of get behind it. The modern Tea Party has nothing to do with that.
No.
A lot of the other founding roots kind of had some other things to do. A lot of it was somewhat built on the sentiment of, oh, Obama's a Kenyan, send him back.
Yeah, these same people are interested in Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Who is
Birth certificate, motherfucker.
The current Tea Party is just the party of we're really good at buying into propaganda.
Yeah.
I mean, most of these Tea Party folks, what they do is they sit there and, oh yeah, I'm going to get in and I'm going to change everything. And the moment they get in, it's like, yes, corporate sponsor, I will do your bidding. Even more than the regular politicians.
Well, there's other fact. What was I going to say? There was something else.
Keep government out of my health care, but get your hands off my Medicaid.
Well, there's a lot to this whole.
Make sure you regulate all those women's uteruses. Very important.
Yeah.
No regulation unless it's a vagina.
Oh, bloody hell.
But don't say vagina.
Scott Walker with that whole internal ultrasound.
Oh, yeah.
Those
I mean,
things are too.
I mean, how can somebody think imposing that is something good?
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's literally, okay, a transvaginal ultrasound is quite literally performed with basically a 10-inch dildo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I've had one.
Oh, yeah, it's a 10-inch dildo without any foreplay.
Yeah. No foreplay. The thing is fucking, like, rigid and solid, so it's fucking painful as hell because they're jabbing it around trying to get a look at things. It hurts.
Yeah.
I've
Like,
heard.
it's not a comfortable feeling.
Yes, and let's make this as evasive and as much a violation as possible, because we want to not only make you look at the fetus, which you don't want, but in addition to that, we want to violate you and make you feel as awkward and uncomfortable as humanly possible. We're here to humiliate you.
I mean, it's one thing when you're like, there is something wrong with my girl parts. Hey, doctor, could we, like, get a look in there? And they're like, oh, yeah. Well, we can do a transvaginal ultrasound. And I'm like, well, that's going to suck. You know? They're like, yeah, it's pretty uncomfortable, but we really do need to get a look at it.
As opposed to, you don't have a fucking choice in this.
Yeah. Like, you want to get rid of your unwanted parasite.
By the way,
you must let us effectively rape you with a 10-inch uncomfortable dildo. Yeah.
Yeah, rape is a good word. And by the way, Prudent, this is the problem with party line. Because Scott Walker is not an anomaly.
Yeah, he's not.
That's why parties are dangerous.
And the Tea Party is just the source of so many fucking insane people being voted into office.
Well, here's the thing with the Tea Party.
Paul Grimm.
But the Tea Party has more been helpful for the Democrats, from the way I see it. Because think about it this way: the Senate elections from 2010 and 2012. they had a lot of just these crazy idiots like wing the Republican nomination. But when it came to the general election, they figured, well, we don't like this Democratic candidate, but fuck, at least he's not saying crazy shit like God's okay with, rape. What did one of them say?
Well, hang on.
Legitimate rape.
Like there's such thing as legitimate rape, or God's okay with allows rape to happen so babies can be born, like that kind of shit.
Well, the thing is, like I said, you're getting just a lot of insanity from that in this last election cycle. The media outlets like Fox, etc., are trying to push these cheap candidates, these cheap Republican candidates. I mean, Bachmann, for Christ's sakes, holy shit.
Yeah, and Bruno, I've got one more point. It doesn't matter what the bullshit is. Okay.
Yeah, I found a picture of Blair holding one near his face. So
but it doesn't matter what bullshit is spread around, because party people will go down party lines. They will vote because they identify that, and that's it. They turn off after that. So they don't know. They don't care. It's just their party. Yay, go team. So because throughout a lot of history, it's pretty well right down party, even split, and then you have this little bit of a margin that shifts in the country every once in a while. And that's the voting populace. Everybody else doesn't matter. They will vote their party line. So really, the whole shebang is dependent upon a few thousand people, if that.
So a little while ago, I was talking about McCain, how I liked him until he ran for president, because until then, he fucked his party quite a bit.
Well, hang on. Just a quick side note here. Now, mind you, I did end up voting for Obama the first time around, and the reason why was because I wanted somebody eloquent in there. But honestly, all I wanted was somebody eloquent. And with how idealistic he seemed, I figured that he was going to end up being kind of a crap president, because that idealism that he seemed to be showing while running for president was going to be beat out of him within the first 6 fucking months. But I did end up voting for him, in part because there was no fucking way I was voting for McCain. I mean, I'm an independent voter. I will go, I will go with the candidate, not with a fucking party. But, McCain I initially kind of liked, but then Palin, no, crazy woman.
Yeah, once he started running for president, even McCain veered sharply to the right.
Yeah.
So, can I ask you, what was it that put you off of Palin? Was it the notes that she wrote on her hands, she would forget stuff, or when she did the wink at the camera?
Neither, actually.
It was she would have us burnt at the stake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Literally.
She was an absolute crazy religious person. I mean, forget the wink, forget any of this other shit. I mean, forget even all these stupid comments like, I can see Russia from my doorstep, which
Tina
were
Fey
certainly very much against
So she
her.
never said that. That was Saturday
To be
Night
fair,
Live.
Palin never said she could see Russia from her house. That was Tina Fey.
Has anybody seen her reality show or her stuff on her webpage? She's nutters.
Oh, completely fucking batshit and crazy. What the big thing for me is that they showed this things from years ago with her in this Pentecostal church talking about the end times. And I'm like, holy fuck. And then I started paying more attention to what she was saying and going, yee, no football for you.
No
Fuck
boob.
that shit. No. I mean, that bitch was just crazy. No. That and she was as dumb as Bush, if not worse.
Hell, I have to wonder how much time does she go not drunk?
I mean, all I want is a president that is not a laughingstock, or does not make us a laughingstock. This rules out Trump as far as my vote goes.
Okay.
So, in other words, you want a president that will make Putin look like a laughingstock and not America.
Pretty much.
Shadow, how long have you lived in Texas?
16, 17 years now.
Okay. Were you here when Bush was first elected governor?
No.
Okay. Bush's governor was very different than Bush's president. He was still conservative, but he didn't go wackadoo, and he had some really good advisors here.
Okay.
Specifically, Bob Bullock, who was the lieutenant governor at the time, who was basically the kingpin of Texas Democrats.
And my volume control doesn't seem to work, unfortunately.
You're really, really quiet, Van.
Yeah, and breaking up pretty good.
All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, he's going under a bridge or something.
And I'd like to know when Cheney got.
No, before Cheney. It was
before Cheney.
The last governor of Texas.
Now, mind you, our current charming little. Yeah. Anyway. Fucking.
But once Bullock died, he was surrounded by different people that advised him drastically differently. And then you started to see what it would be like in the last 2 years, probably the last year he was governor. You started seeing what he would be like as president. Unfortunately, he had the first 5 years to go by, to coast on.
Yeah. But, I mean, Bush was, by the time he became president, a complete little fucking whack-a-mole. Any way around it. I mean, the thing is, people forget. And they talk about him like he was a popular president initially. And it was pretty much regarded that he fucking bullshit stole that election with the help of Jeb.
He lost the popular vote.
Yeah.
There's no argument about that.
But at the same point, what people forget is that prior to 9/11, I mean, there were people firing off guns in front of the fucking White House. And somehow people seem to have just forgotten that.
The thing that I remember the most about the 2000 election was during one of the debates, they asked him who his favorite philosopher was. And I don't know if any of y'all remember this, but this stuck in my head. His answer was Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I had a thought that came to me while you guys were talking about Bush. Is it seems that everything that I've seen of Bush, it makes me think of that Cox guy on the phone that just wouldn't let somebody disconnect.
Yeah.
It's like he really didn't know what to say because there's so many different aspects going on in his head that he's been told to do, and he's trying to do his best, but he's fucking lost. It's like HAL 9000 and just goes,
That's nice. I get all these updates telling me that I don't have any updates. That's fucking great, Windows 10. Thank you very much.
Oh, sounds like something's still in beta.
Fucking A. Holy shit.
I wish I could stick with XP.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As long as I can.
I switched to 7 this year. I skipped right over Vista. Yeah. I held on to XP as long as I could, but I would have had to get a 64-bit update, and I wasn't going to crack anymore. So I went and got 7, but did the bullet.
Yeah, I like 7.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
I actually got used to 8, and now 10 has me all jacked up.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared.
I've had some issues here, and it's funny because somebody's like, "Oh, it's been working great for me." I'm like, "I'm guessing you have a pretty rudimentary computer then."
Freeform factory.
Luckily, my wife also has a fairly rudimentary computer in a lot of levels. So, well, no. You have a power system, but at the same point, you don't have all the weird ass crap hooked up like I do. That's what I'm talking about, huh?
Drivers.
So you can stop flipping me off. You don't, because my big problem I've been having is drivers and all these very little programs that need to reload shit.
Sweetheart, I will never stop flipping you off.
Okay, well, you can stop flipping me off on that one thing I meant.
Since Red's still awake.
General, yeah.
Hello, Red.
Hang on a second.
Hi, Jordy.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you, Red?
I am good.
Can't say hi to me. I see how it is.
Oh, well, I didn't realize you were there. I can't see his screen because there's a giant snowball in the way.
Oh, that's cute. Darling, how are you?
Absolutely wonderful. I can't even tell who's talking.
That was Paranor.
Oh, yes, it was. Hi, Para. Hi, Rose. Hi, Headless.
Hello.
Is everyone better now? Does everyone feel warm and welcome?
Yeah.
No, but you haven't said hello to Prudy, but that's your choice.
I didn't realize that Prudy was in here. Hi, Prudy.
Nobody ever says hi to him anyway, so it's not like that.
Oh.
That was fun.
That was interesting.
He's probably yelling right now, but he doesn't realize he's.
No, somebody tried saying hi to her, so I'm like, I'll just give her the damn headset and let her say damn.
Yeah. Well, I heard her, so I said,
Yeah,
to say
that was
hi.
kind of fun. But yeah, she can't hear y'all. I don't have it set up that way right now.
Oh.
Yes, yes, I'm leaving you out again. I can actually, with this configuration, set it back if you wanted, but I end up echoing after like 10 fucking minutes anyway lately. You know, Rose is in the Hangout, so it'll immediately start echoing for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your stuff
Anyway.
hates me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Well, actually, let me take this the fuck off air before I say anything along those lines.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It may not happen because there's more people.
Yep. In any case, y'all, thank you for watching. We're going to go take our conversation offline as is traditional. So, anyway, have a good one.